He's like this guy that goes, "Oh my god, did you hear about the spider that was in the shower of that guy that was in this other place?" And it's like, no, I didn't know. It's just crazy stories from nowhere.
Is that me?
Yep.
No, but seriously, the longest story mankind, our civilization, has ever produced, you will never guess what it is. Like, people say, oh, is it the Bible? It's like, no, it's something that's way longer than Bible.
It's the Delver Bible, yeah.
No, it's a Super Smash Brothers fanfic.
No way, dude.
You have no idea, because the thing is basically, so there were a couple of people and they kept spinning on the story, and they had the story with like all the Mario characters, but it was like set in the Super Smash Brothers universe, so it's like best of all, and yeah, they just keep going, and allegedly it's on some internet forum, and it's longer than like the works of mankind produced in all of the Middle Ages or something. I don't know, it's just super crazy.
Give us like an example of like how many somethings this is.
I have no idea. I just like read it a couple of years ago that it's like by far like many orders of magnitude.
You read it all a few years ago.
Of course, like I have the audiobook. I'm one of the voices.
It's such bullshit. And your name is Frank.
Frank the Tank. Yeah, this is the Koopa Trooper voice.
Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Everyday Eternal number 170. What is this? 137, your favorite, most deceptively named bi-weekly legacy podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our brand new Patreons, Alex Crow and Salvatore Orico. And by the way, I wrote this down. Big shoutouts to everybody who donated to Anorak's Eternal Weekend stream, because honestly, this is fucking embarrassing for Wizards that like the community has to source their own stream and Anorak has to spend his own hours. So big shoutouts to everyone. I think the winner of Vintage even donated like $2,500 extra.
Yeah, Roger, what a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Roger, I'm trying to remember the name.
He's from, I think it's 100% Serious MTG, which is like a team that plays Vintage a lot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have his name here. His name is... No, this is wrong. Here, James Roger. James Roger. Big shout outs to you as well and everybody who donated. So that was amazing to watch. And if you want to support the running of our show directly, you don't have to donate $2,500, but of course you can. You can support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal. Guys, how's life? Like we finally broke. Actually, no, we already recorded from home last episode, even though it still felt like kind of on the road because of half of it was at the hotel. I think for the last two episodes, we at least had one person in some kind of hotel, right? Are you guys home now? Or is anybody still caught in a hotel?
I'm always in a hotel.
Sorry, Julian, we don't happen to be in a hotel every now and then, you know? We're like regular people with regular houses.
I mean, it's not that crazy to be in a hotel, right?
I'm in my home hotel. It's fine.
I was kind of homeless for like a couple of years, but only in summer. Which is like weird. But let's not get into that. Guys, what have you been up to? What is life like in the last couple of weeks of this year?
Yeah, I've been prepping a lot of Legacy in preparation for the God of Legacy. I'll be.
But you're not gonna win once again.
So you know, I think I said, I told you my plans already, but the plan is to invade Japan.
That never goes well. Can I tell you about this place called the Russian Empire?
Yeah, no, that's the whole plan, to invade Japan. Right, take the title of the God of Legacy. As you guys might know, there is this infamous, super duper big Legacy, or like any format type of like big event in Haruya, the biggest card store in Tokyo, and it happened so that there is a Legacy event on the very last Sunday of my visit, and I gotta play. There's a problem though. There's a problem. I cannot figure out how to beat that stupid mono white Dungeon Stompy deck. Holy shit! I'm literally like, dude, I'm at a point where I'm considering cards like Drop of Honey. Seriously,
What?
Dude, it is so
horrible.
bad. I know, right? Like. So obviously there is I'm a Doomsday player, so I might just play Doomsday. The thing is, like, the two most played decks in Japan are by far Blue Red Delver and Dungeon Stompy. Man, that's quite of a stretch, you know. Like I said it a couple of times that Doomsday has a positive Dungeon Stompy matchup, but in real life it's really just so. It's kind of like 50-50 really. It is. Honestly,
what you're saying is you're actually lying?
Yeah, kind of. But that was
we don't lie on this podcast.
But that was like 2 weeks ago. You know,
You're allowed to lie in the
just
past.
get over it. You know.
Repent your sins. Okay. So, I mean, if it's 50-50, okay, actually it sounds really horrible. Why are you even flying to Japan then?
Yeah, I know, right? This is I'm usually not down on Legacy, or like, I always try to be like positive about the format and blah blah blah. But
Didn't you just like top 8 the ELM?
yeah.
It's like, oh, Legacy sucks. I can't beat anything. Like top 8 is one of the most prestigious prestigious Legacy events of like ever.
maybe I should like start the story from like a different point. I've been looking for a deck that has a good mono dungeon stompy matchup and a reasonable Delva matchup, and I ended up building like this
Got
weird
something for you.
Yeah, like shit. So so I ended up building like a band Icewind Quartal Uro kind of deck, and dude, it sucks, dude. This deck sucks so much. Holy shit! If you anyone out there, if you got Uros and Icewind Quartals, just burn them. They're terrible magic cards.
Kai, remember when you played
They
the
should remain
GP? Remember when you played the GP in Japan, where you played Miracles, and you regretted it so much?
Dude, holy shit! Yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. I played Jeskai Miracles at GP Chiba in 2016 when Eldrazi and Devon Texas Miracles were tier 1 and Delva was tier 2. And I was like, dude, there's no way I can beat Eldrazi and Miracles with 1,000 tendrils. So
there was a really good Eldrazi plan for Ad Nauseam Tendrils, though. Like, Rodrigo did it at Prague. He just didn't play against it the whole weekend.
Dude, what?
Should have done that.
Nice. Okay, I guess that's...
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think in his like thanks, like when they did an interview, he was like, "Thank you for the Eldrazi players that didn't play against me."
Grazie. Arigato.
But I think dodging Delver and Dungeon Stompy.
No, that dude,
It's
not
gonna be tough.
not possible. Not possible at all.
So are you like I mean, it sounds like you would regret not playing something you like based on the Miracles thing. But do you have anything up your sleeve?
Well, so here's the issue with Doomsday, right? Because I mean, I could simply play Doomsday and be okay, but here's the thing. The mono white dungeon stompy matchup with Doomsday is the actual worst Magic experience you can ever imagine because there is no game. There's literally no Magic the Gathering happening because Doomsday's got a mulligan down to turn 1 Doomsday, no matter what, so that mono white cannot interact, and mono white's got a mulligan down to turn 1 Thalia or turn 1 Chalice or whatever, and the game is technically over on turn 2 for either side. So the whole gameplay comes down to mulliganing. It is really that stupid. And
can you play Gloom? Does that fix it?
What?
No, seriously.
Dude, this is Legacy, not old school, dude.
But you have Dark Rituals in your deck. Like,
I do.
And turn 1 Gloom is actually like insane.
Turn 1 Gloom is insane against them. Have you tried it?
But what if they go Chalice of the Void?
Well, then you play it off the Lotus Petal, turn 2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or Cable Ritual or something.
I guess I gotta go creative.
You gotta go try some Glooms, man. I think it might.
Seriously?
Fix your problems.
But the card got printed in alpha, right?
Yeah. So I actually learned this last night at my local game store. I was talking to a friend, Alex, and do you know what Gloom does?
It's like it's like chill, but for white.
Say what it does.
I think it also says something about like something enchantment, something costs 3 more, but I just assumed it was gonna make like activated abilities more expensive.
Yeah, so white spells cost 3 more, and then currently Gloom says activated abilities of white enchantments cost 3 more. But in alpha, and maybe beta, but at least alpha, it says Circle of Protection abilities cost 3 more.
Okay.
it's really interesting.
So that's what it's actually meant.
Yeah.
That is sick. I should really get it in alpha.
Yeah. So it'll confuse people.
How much is it actually? You know what? I'm gonna look it up.
That's like a stupid common, isn't it? Hey?
Is it common? Okay.
I mean, it's been printed a lot, I think. So
oh man, it could also be like if this is a rare,
alpha's gonna be tons.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up if this is a rare.
If you want alpha, it's gonna be. Oh my god, why is this not ordered correctly? Alpha starts at 90. Beta. But you can get it for like for no money at all. Like foreign black bordered is like, I don't know, €1, €2.
Cool. There you
15
go, Kai.
cent.
There you go. You're welcome. You can win God of Legacy and be like, for fuck's sake, I won out of Callum's stupid
Gloom,
suggestion in the intro of the podcast. Gloom actually did top 8 a challenge last weekend in like a sneaking show sideboard or something.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they had 3 in the sideboard. Yeah.
I mean, you could also like run it out against Death and Taxes if somebody still plays that. Like, look,
Yeah.
the look in their face. Mother of Runes 4 mana.
Dude, holy shit! I don't know if I can pull that trigger like after calling my team named Team Thalia. But...
Do you have Dark Crystal in your deck? You have to play Gloom. I'm sorry. Like, it actually seems potentially insane.
That is the craziest thing to say for like a legacy format in 2022. It's like,
Look,
hey, you know, there's like this alpha uncommon or whatever. Just play that.
You know what? Would you have expected Unchained Berserker and something Shrine Ganoshi as legacy playables? Empty Shrine Ganoshi, is it?
I'm still not like convinced that that's actually good. by the
No,
way.
but it still won the ELM.
People have been saying that, you know, you can kill those guys with gut shot, dude. They're like, what?
Yeah, but
the
that's
hell?
the next level is now people play that other guy
Blood Knight,
who's
Blood Knight.
yeah, exactly.
Gutshot was so the first week of ELM.
Yeah,
Then
I
it
want to say
then it
like
went
the
to Blood
first
Knight.
7 hours of ELM, and then people like upgraded.
I had 3 Blood Knights in my painter sideboard in the showcase qualifier.
Yeah, tell us about how that worked in a moment.
I didn't play against a single white deck, and I didn't win any
Oh my
matches.
gosh, yeah. Speaking of which, like, yeah, how's live Callum?
I'm good. I'm settling into my new place mostly. Like, I'm really liking it here, but I just haven't like had much time for other stuff. So like living with a friend, and we're kind of just every night just chilling, listening to records, drinking some beer and stuff. So I'm playing.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really fun, and like the area's cool. So it's just like, yeah. It's
But
just really
when you say
fun.
like listening to records, so you have like an actual record player, like in the 70s?
Oh yeah. So I have a bunch, but he's like a vinyl nerd, and he has thousands. So we listen to those records. But yeah, it's cool. Last weekend I ran our like last LLM of the year, so it was meant to be like a special format. So we did 3 rounds of pre-modern, 3 rounds of Legacy Unchained with an insane unbanned list.
Oh my
like,
god, I saw that. Yeah.
with the most
Damn.
broken stuff. Like the only stuff still banned was like anti-fast artifact mana, and then Tinker basically.
That tells you something about how broken
Yeah.
Tinker is.
Yeah, Tinker was a step too far, I thought.
I mean, Tinker is like an accelerator and a tutor. It's just like completely broken.
Yeah, you just win with Bella's sister. That was a bit silly. That was really cool. And then we did Cube for the top 8 that I had to leave.
Dude, you can't leave us hanging. Like, what did you play?
So I played in Unchained. I knew the deck was bad, but it was way worse than I expected.
You know, this is like the most broken format you can imagine. And Callum,
I tried to break Mind Twist. Mind Twist sucks so much. Oh my
like-
god. So
Really?
I know it's so bad. So I think everyone correctly identified that Lurrus is obviously completely broken still. So we also said like you don't have to pay 3 to put it in your hand. So Lurrus was just Lurrus as printed. So there was like 4 color with Ren and 6 DRS, DRC, and there's Strip Mine as well. So Ren and 6 Strip Mine was a thing, but everyone was just like, okay, well, Days and Force of Will are musts, and then you have Mental Misstep, and so.
oh, you could play
Yeah.
like 4 Mental Misstep, 4 Probe, 4 Cable Therapy,
Yeah.
4 DRS,
Yeah.
like mono 1 mana.
Yeah, and Dragon Rage Channeler was also insane in the format, like completely broken in the format. But so that was the level 1. I got destroyed by that kind of deck. Francis was playing like Jeskai stuff with Linvala was a pretty good call he did because like obviously all the free spells. What went 3-0 was Crab Shack. So with fast bond and crabs. So it
Hell
was
yeah.
a friend Simo, he'll definitely listen. So hi Simo, well done. So he had obviously the 8 crabs, but usually you win with like retreat to Hagra, I think it is, which is like whenever a land ETBs, you drain your opponent for 1. But he was actually just milling them. So this is really funny. So he had a few turn 1 wins where you just go like land, fast bond, land, crab, but then you have one of the Ravnica bounce lands and you just mill them out. But as soon as you take 2 damage, it doesn't work because they've got more cards in their library than each one you take off fast one. So he was like, I can't beat a bolt. I think it was meant to be really fast. Like there was a lot of fast mana. There was like Once Upon a Times and Demonic Tutors. Like, and he went 3-0 with it. He said it mulligans a lot. You mulligan to 4 and 5 loads of times, but you just try and kill them.
Can't you like kind of already play that in Vintage anyway? Like Fastbond is unrestricted now, right?
Yeah, you can. So that's the kind of deck there. But anyway, what I did was I had Lurrus, but I had like third Python Iconoclast. So because it makes artifact tokens, I was trying to combine like a Grixis control shell. So I had Probe and Therapy as well, and it makes tokens. Then because all the tokens are artifacts, I had Tolarian Academy plus Mind Twist. So,
This is like somebody shows, hey, let me show you my car, and then it's like, you know, like in Pimp My Ride, it's just like, oh, and by the way, there's like 5 TVs on this, and this can fly, and it can ride on water and stuff. Like,
I also had 2 Skull Clamps in the deck. So there was one point like where I played against, because you take so much damage from all the probes and the missteps and everything. My opponent Jamie, he played like a DRC DRS. There's so many fucking acronyms. A Death Threat Shaman, and then I was on 5 from just hating myself. So I was like, shit, I can't beat it. So I drew like 20 cards in one turn and then just conceded because I went like make all the tokens, play Skull Clamp, and then like Tolarian Academy, make 15 mana, keep clamping my tokens, keep playing spells, cast 3 dig through times, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm dead. It was terrible.
You need some free spells in that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man.
So that was Unchained. It was cool. It was again fun to do once, and like Jasper, our friend, played a really cool like Tolarian Academy was obviously completely broken, so he played like 4 defense grids and then LEDs and wheels and Narset and Hull Breacher and stuff. So he kind of next leveled that everyone's going to play 4 misstep game and just played like almost no 1-drops. So he just played mono blue, fast mana and wheels, which is cool.
So basically a full-on combo.
Yeah. So like Hull Breacher and Narset was obviously really good if everyone's playing like cantrips and probes. And
but you couldn't play like Ancestor Recall or something.
No, so like Power 9 basically
okay.
was banned. Time Twister was legal, but I think he played 1 or 2. Echo is just better than Time Twister in the deck.
Damn.
So, you know, like that you walk up to like a place and it says like Power 9 not allowed in here, and then like Time Twister goes like, oh well, and it's like, okay, you can come in.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, is it like a compliment or is it an insult?
It's like, you're
It's
okay.
Definitely an insult. Time Twister sucks. I think you could unban Time Twister in Legacy and he wouldn't do anything.
Ooh, big call.
Yeah. So that was fun, but the real fun was we played 3 rounds of pre-modern, and I knew this would happen eventually, but my god, it's so fun. I knew that I'm gonna be a complete sucker for it, and as soon as I kind of get that first injection, I'm like, I'm gone forever. So that was just so fun. Oh my god. So now I've just ordered tons of cards this week.
Yeah, we're actually gonna have a pre-modern event in January in etc. and
yes.
Rising.
Oh yes, so I've actually organised one in January in London as well, off the back of this. So if anyone listening, on the 28th of January, I'm running a pre-modern event. It's free, so you can just come along, rock up and play. And it should be really fun at Rogue's Quarter in Kentish Town.
For us, it's going to be the 8th, and it's going to be parallel with the end of year event for the etc. series.
Oh, that's cool. I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kai opted out. Kai gave away his spot that he has. So now people are going to fill up with other people.
Yeah, that's the day when I...
It's too small for the God of Legacy.
No, but just battle for the crown on the other side of the planet.
You know, I'm too big of a fish. Sorry, I don't fit into your pond.
Still a fish, though.
I didn't say that.
I like how you actually mentioned that you didn't say that. That makes it so bad he actually believes it.
he totally said it.
Dude.
No, it's cool. It's cool. If you drop out, like, there's a chance I get in, because I didn't really play a lot lately, and my elo is apparently like not high enough because I scrapped out like Maverick once or twice. But I think if somebody else drops out, then I'm gonna get in.
You got to stop playing green and white creatures, play red creatures.
Yeah, like I had like a couple of like really good finishes with like broken stuff, like actually with Ragavan. And dude, that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's bad.
It's just like, yeah, it's like it's crazy, right? Like how Legacy is like supposed to be the format where you can like bring any deck from the past, and now it's not true at all.
It was never the.
It was like Ragavan season.
Kind of true, but yeah. Anyway, just to wrap up, pre-modern, I played Goblins, and God, it was so fun. I actually played pre-modern Goblins last night at Legacy. Just put 4 Fables in there. It's pretty fun. Not very good, but it was pretty fun.
The thing is, like, pre-modern Goblins, when you think about it, that's almost like what like Legacy Goblins used to look like for a long time, right?
Yeah, it's not that far off. You basically lose Vial and Caverns, which are good, obviously, but yeah, I mean, you still have like Matrons, Ringleaders, War Chiefs, and then like Ports and Wastelands and Lackey. Yeah, it's a good deck. I went 3-0 in the pre-modern part. And did terribly in the Unchained one, but yeah, I'm now dedicated. I'm gonna brew a deck with like 3 of my favorite cards ever: Goblin Welder, Mastercore, and Tinker. I'm gonna build a deck with those 3 in.
Goblin Welder, Mastercore, and Tinker.
Yeah.
Wait, but you can't play Tinker in pre-modern, can you?
Yeah, you can play 4.
Wait, what? Tinker is legal in pre-modern? What do you actually get? Like Phyrexian Processor?
I ordered a Phyrexian Dreadnought today. That's like the best thing.
Wait, you
wait, did you Tinker for Dreadnought? Wait, what?
No, sorry, not Phyrexian Dreadnought. Phyrexian Colossus. Yeah.
Is that literally the best you can get?
Well, it's just more of a tutor. So yeah, you can get like, I don't know, you
Crumbling
can get
Sanctuary.
Like the best things are Mistress Helix, Crumbling Sanctuary. You can play the Phyrexian Processor combo with some things. Altar of Dementor as well. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like a prison deck, because obviously Welder with Tangle Wire is sick. Also like Mastercore discarding things for the world is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm just going to build around those 3 cards because I love them. So we'll see.
Whoa,
but yeah,
whoa. I love it. Like when you look at Masticore, it's like people are going to be like, "Oh, that's a downside." Like, what downside? That's my discard outlet. This is how it cheats stuff into play with Welder. Dude, Welder's just such a great card.
I was about to say, Julian, tell us what you've been doing recently.
Just a lot of painting, seriously.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
This is now every Canvas Eternal. And sorry, Kai. We
like
are
to hear
a
that.
podcast.
Like to hear that.
Yeah, we talked about that, right? Kai is literally the only painter on the podcast, but he's the only one not playing Painter in Legacy.
Yes. A few months ago, Julian was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Callum, this is another Painter episode, isn't it?" And now it's all Painter episodes.
Yeah, it pretty much is. Like, I actually bought the deck. By now I have the entire deck. At least some of it is still on the way. Except for the 2 cities that I'm still like thinking about. And yeah, I've been playing it a lot. Like I've already started playing it like half a year ago, and then I played it more and more, and then I started like leeching the wisdom from Callum, and I have access to the secret Callum Painter Bible, which I don't know if you're ever gonna finish that. Otherwise, I guess we can almost like publish it as is.
I should just publish it as is. Like I've been so lazy with it. I think I wrote it like 4 months ago now. I did a bunch at the beginning and then just stopped. So.
Well, the thing is, like, we're gonna make a pact. I'm gonna finish our stupid website, and then you're gonna finish that, and I'm gonna put it on if you like. Otherwise, you can also sell it if you like, of course.
I'm not gonna sell it. I'm just gonna.
But it's really good.
If anyone listening, if you want to see it, you can go into the Painter Discord, and then in the resources channel, it's just pinned. You can.
Oh, you're stealing our thunder. We're going to release this thing that everybody already had access to anyway. But yeah, I played 2 Legacy challenges, and I made top 8 in both. Lost the finals in the last one that I played. And Painter is just insane. And especially against the White Initiative deck, I just feel like I'm at this point where if I'm paired against them, I actively feel good about it. You know how a lot of matchups in Legacy you feel like, oh, okay, this is fine, or oh, this is maybe not great, but also like, basically that's the vast majority of matchups in Legacy is just like, okay, we can play. And then there's some where you feel like, oh shit. And then there's some where you feel like, okay, cool. And it's a very good description.
The only reason like that matchup could be bad is just because the deck has so much more raw power. Painter just has all the tools to win it. Like, it's set up really well. It plays to the board so well and has so many onboard tricks, and it has all the tools to beat it very consistently, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
imagine being positive against Mono White Initiative and not even play Gloom.
I saw a couple of people mention that on Twitter. Was it XJ or Julian or somebody? They mentioned that Painter is one of their very worst matchups of the most played decks, and it certainly feels like that when I play against it.
Yeah, I think basically the deck has, just to boil it down quickly, I think Initiative is like 50-50 against Delver. It's very close. They're both just gunning for each other, and that is what it is. But I think Breakfast has a better matchup against Initiative, but worse against Delver. And then Painter is probably slightly positive against Initiative, and even to slightly positive against Delver, but very close there.
Yeah. To me, it just like feels like Fury is just so insane. Like, I had so many games where I play a turn 1 creature, and then they do whatever they want to do in their first turn, then I Fury it away, I steal the initiative, and they often just like straight up don't get it back because they don't have haste or stuff. Or even like if they start committing stuff to the board, then you often just kill them with a combo, and if you don't, then it probably involves Solitude, which makes their draw weaker. It's just like, it always feels like they're one step behind. Yeah,
I think that's my experience as well. I haven't played it as much as you, I think, but it's Painter just plays to the board so well, and it's the beauty of the like greatest sum of its parts. It cobbles together this really impossible to actually deal with board state of like the goblins, and then you're threatening like to take the initiative and kill their creatures. You've almost got lethal, but then you've almost got the combo together as well, and they just don't know what's in your hand or what's going to come.
Yeah, the one thing that lines up really well against us is if they are on the play and they go with Chalice on 1, and you have a couple of 1 drops. I kind of somewhat struggle against Chalice on 1. I don't like always lose against it, but it's at a point where I'm like thinking about the sideboard, because there's sometimes matchups where I feel like, dude, I literally can't remove this except with like some Welder tricks if I already have it on the board.
Abrade is not bad in the matchup. I just hate playing Abrade.
I don't want to play Abrade.
It's such a mopey, boring, nothingy card, but like Fiery Confluence doesn't. It used to be. It's good against like Red Stumpy because you could sweep the goblins as well, but it only kills Chalice. Is a bit slow. It's really weak to like the Elite Spellbinder and Anointed Peacekeeper. So I think you want like that or Ancient Grudge or like Haywire Might or something to get off Saga, but it's a bit slow. I don't know.
You know what we can do? We can defile it.
Yes, yeah. So we can get to Defiler soon. I think Defiler solves the matchup even more. I
like how we're talking about Legacy, and our solution to their turn 1 play is a 5-drop.
Defiler completely destroys the matchup. It's I think I said it on the last podcast, but I lent my Painter deck to Niv who's Trunks online, and he played against Rodrigo in the hotel lobby at like 3 a.m. and he went 6-1 because of Defilers against Rodrigo's initiative.
Fun is
deck.
insane, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have
So-
4 copies of it here. If you ever
yes.
get drunk and try 4 copies, I'm ready.
Well, I played 3 because I was drunk. It's 4 seasons,
I guess that works.
but it was the perfect like test, right? I really thought 1 was the right number, and then I was like to Jasper, let's go crazy and play 2, and then the night before I was like, fuck it, let's play 3 cut bolts, and I'm glad I did because it was the best test to see. Like, I was thinking I wanted to play 2 just so I draw it more to see if it's bad to draw, but it's great to draw. It's so good. You can cast it and then you just weld it straight out if you need to, or like it's so good, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll carry on with your top 8s in a second, but like yesterday, Inkwelder in the Painted Discord, he won the 90s MTG League. I don't know how big it is or stuff, but a bunch of people just keep posting in the Discord saying they won their thing. So the deck
It's actually
is really
so
performing.
like when you talk to people, I went to Isadora yesterday, and I think there were at least 1 or 2 people who just told me they want to build Painter, and they're like buying Wilders now in cities and stuff, and they're like, dude, we started some kind of like, I mean, you started some kind of revolution. I'm just like I'm here for the ride. And
made
the
a
Painter
monster.
cult.
yeah, the cult of Painter.
All it took was cutting Khan.
And adding Fable. You told me that some people still don't want to play Fable and Painter, right? Even though it's literally
Some.
the only like list that ever puts up results. Actually, there's the 5-color list. The 5-color list also sometimes puts up results.
No, Shortcake. It actually makes sense. So Shortcake was the highest performing deck at Eternal Weekend in America. Can't remember his exact name, but he's Eddie Visconi in the Discord. He went 8-2 with Shortcake, and like no Fables, still playing Khan and Imperial Recruiter.
I'm actually looking at the stats from Eternal Weekend, but yeah, I guess they don't
It's all lumped
differentiate.
together though.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shortcake is still like has definitely got pros over it. It's faster at comboing. It assembles, lock pieces, and the Canonist is really good against any of the combo decks and stuff. I do think Red is better, and like it is the one putting up the most results. But I don't want to be like, haha, they're not playing Fable at all. I'm not discrediting it. It's Shortcake is really good as well. Like Jack Kitchen's still playing it in challenges and stuff, and it's a classic deck as well. It's just I think they're both good. I think both have good initiative matchups. Arguably, Shortcake might even be better against initiative. They don't always play Furies, which is a big swing piece, but they can assemble the combo much faster, and they can get bridge down really fast game 1s as well, and can't to win. So I think both are very good against initiative.
We'll see.
So,
We'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah, finally, like for the last episode of the year, I actually want to do the thing where we actually go over the topics before we actually challenge them. I know I prepared this. Maybe this is way too loud, but yeah, guys, this is the final episode of the year, and I thought we should do something special, as in like sticking to our show notes. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the hot takes that Callum and Kai have about the Legacy meta game. Then we're gonna check out the results from some of the biggest Legacy events that we had on the entire planet in like almost a decade, I want to say. And then finally, we go our highlights of 2022, what happened in the format, what we enjoyed the most. And then we're also going to have a short look into the future to actually figure out what 2023 is going to bring for us. So I'm really excited for that. We already teased it on the last episode. And by saying that, actually, we have a very, very quick listener question from the Discord, from Neither. And the question is, what is the most load-bearing card in Legacy? I saw that on my phone the other day, and I immediately had Force of Will on my head. And I think, Callum, you're the same, right?
It's Force of Will, like by so far, in my opinion.
Kai, what do you think?
Force of Will, Force of Negation, all of those.
Yeah, basically the card that would, if you removed one card from Legacy, that would cause the biggest change in the metagame, in anything, in the play experience, whatever.
I think it's Force of Will, but a lot of talk has been around Days, obviously. I think
Wasteland is more important than with Days. I think it goes Force, then Wasteland, and then I would put like Endurance pretty close to the top.
Well, that's interesting. I would think about something like dual lands or fetch lands, because without those, the mana bases would look like very differently.
That's true. Fetch is probably second, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
it's boring.
Yeah, don't mind, dude. Like Delva plays Steam Vents these days, and Doomsday plays on a Watery Grave. So
Well, you played 4 Watery Graves, didn't you?
Yeah, you play a full set. If you're really pro, then you go full Watery Graves. Yeah.
So yeah, that's our answer. And now we want to go back to the hot takes, guys. You already kind of like teased that, and I remember we talked about that a little bit on in Bologna as ready. Already, why don't we start with like Ancient Tomb? Callum, you had like a talk. Or Callum, you want to say something?
Kai? That was Kai.
Oh,
Oh, that was Kai, yeah.
May I say
50-50
it?
chance.
May I say it? Ancient Tomb is the best card in the format.
Oh, he said it. Shit.
Tell us more about the powers of Ancient Tomb.
Dude. Ancient Tomb is literally Mishra's Workshop. You heard it first.
Shit. I wanted to drink something, but I had to stop myself because I would have spit it out. Ancient Tomb is actually better than Mishra's Workshop. You couldn't spend it on anything.
Yeah, you can play white.
Oh god,
Yeah,
this is gonna make
Adventure.
for some awesome sound pieces like for the next year or something.
Yeah. Next year, Ancient Tomb is banned. No, don't say it. No, I would be so sad.
That
It's
is-
been. I think it's been on the border for a long time, but like, I didn't think of it until recently. I didn't think like it's. I always thought it's a pillar of the format. I never kind of, and I always knew it was completely like incredible, but I never kind of considered it in the same conversation as Brainstorm, which has always been accepted as like the
dude.
best card.
Ancient Tomb is literally card advantage, dude. Like you have
Yeah.
one card and that makes 2 mana. Like name any other card that does that.
But it's
Okay,
card
I guess
advantage
that-
and
I guess
tempo.
that-
Like it gains you an extra mana like every turn you use it as well.
Yeah.
Like a
You know
lot of
what?
the time with
I
Painter,
bel-
I'm like I'm plotting out my turns, and I'm like, if I go Mountain Welder into turn 2 Ancient Tomb, like Painter, leave a blast. And I'm like, nah, man, just fucking play your Ancient Tomb turn 1, just get ahead on board, get
The more
ahead on
often
mana.
you use
It's
it, the
so
more mana you
powerful.
get.
Yeah, it's yeah.
You know what? I think that's exactly what people said back in the day before Tempest, when like Tempest got like when they had like the spoiler season for Tempest, and it's like, dude, that land is just insane. You can now power out Alluran or some shit, or like
Yeah.
whatever the most powerful thing was in back in the day. But
Yeah, Luren's pretty good, but
Yeah.
it is like its power is always based on the rest of the format, like obviously. So it is now, I think, saying the best card
Absolutely.
because of Dungeon Stompy.
I think I want to add something to the Ancient Tomb thing, though. I think I want to... Ancient Tomb obviously is broken land, but fast mana in general is so much more valuable these days because the payoff cards that are 3-4 mana, they always give you something back immediately, right? Like those dungeon cards, they literally give you a basic land on the first chapter. So like it doesn't matter if you burn a Lotus Petal or 2 or a Chromox or what have you, right? You get like the instant right back. The same thing with Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Like all those cards, I think that's like what has been like lacking for the longest time is like those super snowbally immediate value kind of cards that have multiple colorless mana symbols. That cost.
Yeah, like in the past, like Ancient Tomb was in Show and Tell, which is like a different style of deck. But then the Stumpy decks were playing like obviously Rakdos Pit Dragon and Gathan Raiders and stuff. Like those things you can ignore for a turn or two as well. Like let alone them giving you value back. You can just use a sword to removal spell.
Yeah, especially against Gathan Riders. It's like 2 for 1. Thank you very much.
yeah. It's the opposite, isn't it? But yeah, like I mean, it's no secret in like Moon Stompy, Ancient Tomb is the best card as well.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's actually kind of crazy because I played the Vintage Eternal Weekend and I was lazy. I just played Ravager Workshops. And afterwards, I felt like I feel so stupid for playing a Mishra's Workshop deck when I could have played an Ancient Tomb White Initiative like Stumpy deck. And there's something to it that Ancient Tomb is better than Mishra's Workshop. I mean, in Vintage is of course because of the initiative creatures, but yeah, in Vintage it literally felt like Ancient Tomb was better than Mishra's Workshop.
I think it probably is, honestly, because of the initiative creatures and how good they are. I completely buy that.
Yeah, that to me is absolutely crazy. Obviously, there is like, you know, like you can punish Ancient Tomb type of decks because Ancient Tomb shocks you every time. So, you know, if you have like a deck that has a lot of reach, maybe a lot of flyers, quick clock, anything like that, then as long as Ancient Tomb decks are on the defense, then, you know, you're kind of like in a winning position.
Yeah, the lifeless is relevant every once in a while for sure.
I do feel like the card Delver of Secrets is just very good against it. So you're always going to have that bug leaning around. But yeah, I don't know like if it'll stay like this. I mean, just let's say hypothetically Initiative is either banned or like errated to be you have to have 2 or more opponents or something. If that deck just is cut off, maybe it changes and Brainstorm is better. But I think current Legacy, at least, I think it's quite strongly the best card in the format.
Do you listen to the Carnies podcast that Andrea Mangucci and Javi Dominguez do?
I do. I haven't listened to the latest one, if that's what you're mentioning, but I do listen to it.
I only listened to the latest one.
Okay, fine.
Perfect team, and Kai hasn't listened to any of them, I
The
guess.
last ones I listened to was like
I've listened to the first one.
Great.
Well, that's
As a
actually a
team.
worse like testimony you could give than any of us.
Well, I've listened to most of them, just not the latest one yet.
No, I listened to the one where they talked about like the state of Legacy, and Kavi actually mentioned that he's like, Javi really, really, really believes that something out of the initiative deck has to go.
Oh,
just
is this the
because
one with Andrea on as well?
Yeah, isn't Andrea?
Because the one before it's without Andrea, and Javier goes into it quite deeply, and he very much doesn't like the deck or the mechanic.
Yeah, then we actually listened to the same one. I think they actually released one maybe today or yesterday that I didn't listen to. But yeah, I actually listened to that part because I wanted to hear his take, and he's like, I've rarely like heard him like being so, something has to go out of this.
Yeah.
This is like not reasonable at all.
No, he thinks it's too broken, and I can see it, honestly. I mean, and Javier he's a world champion. He doesn't like spout like for bans when it's unnecessary. I think.
Yeah, he also is like one of the best scripts on Legacy for I would say. I still remember that article you wrote about like cantrips and stuff, and I guess we're going to segue into that in a moment as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was one of the most influential Legacy articles in the new era, whenever that started, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of like hit everyone. Was like, I didn't expect such a revolutionary but like amazing article to come out like at that time or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's the second part, something we also talked about in Bologna, and I don't know which one of you two. I think Kai, it was you, right? When you went back to the hotel one night.
I said it. It hurts so much to say it because I don't think I've ever sleeved up a deck without this card in my 75, in my lifetime Legacy career.
No
but
way.
But seriously, okay. I'm gonna say it now. Ponder, not looking good. It's dying a bit. And like
a bit.
I mean, like Preordain is already dead. We can all agree on that, I think. And if I ask you like what is scarier, turn 1 Ancient Tomb or turn 1 Island into Ponder, well, you got the answer.
Yeah, the thing is like
it goes hand in hand with what you said about fast mana, right? Like fast mana is so powerful, and the Legacy is rewarding you for using your mana fast and early. And whenever you spend a mana on Ponder, in the past it was like, the filtering is worth sacrificing a mana for, like a slight loss of tempo. But now, if you're spending 1 mana on your turn for a Ponder, like that's your turn, blue decks don't play that much fast mana, and your opponent is using 3 or 4 mana, you just get so far behind on tempo. It's a matter of what the other decks in the format are doing. Not exactly that Ponder's power level is too low. It's just relevant to like the rest of the format. If the rest of the format slows down again and everyone's playing a bit more fair, then fine. But they both go hand in hand. I think Ancient Tomb good, Ponder bad, and then it's a sliding scale, and then they'll go back again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, like they're kind of connected because Ancient Tomb decks tend to play cards like Chalice of the Void, Thalia, those kind of cards that are naturally good against Ponder. But I don't know about you guys, but like every time I face a Delver opponent and my Delver opponent goes like turn 1 fetch Volcanic Island Ponder, dude.
I'm so happy.
I'm like, what is this like? Is this the actual buy? What is going on?
It's my dream.
Dude, seriously, it's like almost like you were kind of like mind slavering your opponent for like a turn.
I think part of it is like Ponder is good when you basically like when you make up the tempo disadvantage by raw power level through your answers, especially in the second and the third game, and your sideboard cards are really, really strong, and they make up for the loss in tempo or damage or whatever that you suffered because you played Ponder or like didn't immediately have something. But now we're at the state, and it's more apparent than ever with the white Stompy deck. You can't undo all the damage they have done and all the advantage they have gained through a single sideboard card. So even if you Ponder into, let's say, your Meltdown or, I don't know, Virtuous Ruin or what have you, the other side is still coming out ahead. Like you reset at least maybe the board or you reset some variable. But since they also attack you on a second variable, and that could either be like, like the dungeon or putting stuff into the graveyard, like we do with the Painter, for example, with Phyrexian Dragon Engine and stuff, or even something like, let's say, Urza Saga, right? You reset the board, and then maybe next turn Urza Saga is going to make a thing and get something from the deck, and you don't get the same kind of reset effect that these decks that played Ponder used to get out of their sideboard cards, and that's a problem if you don't also happen to have like a very, very quick start, which again, turn 1 Ponder doesn't really produce the quickest starts.
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, Ponder is still good turn 4 and 5, but you need to rely on your deck to get you to that point. It's It's weird. It's funny to say that because it's still in like most of the decks that are doing well. But
maybe we should also like differentiate between Ponder in a fair deck and Ponder in a non-fair deck, right? 'Cause Ponder also. I think I never mentioned this on this podcast, but I do believe that Brainstorm in Storm, for example, at least like when Storm was super powerful, Brainstorm in Storm was like absolute broken, whereas like a Brainstorm in Esper Stoneblade deck back in the day could never be a broken card, you know.
But you get to shuffle away your Batterskull again and play
And
another
set it up
something.
again.
Holy shit! I mean, that's considered broken, right?
Yeah. But no, you're right. I
Right.
one of my big level ups in learning Legacy was countering like Brainstorms from Storm.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
All the
forcing
time.
them off
They
them.
could get LED Infernal Tutor and then it's game over.
Do you remember that the Painstorm, that Brainstorm? Oh my god, we should actually make a Painstorm. You just like draw 3 cards and then you can pay 4 mana and keep like extra 4 life and like basically live in library and Brainstorm.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
just
so
say,
Brainstorm.
yeah.
What the hell? That card is so broken.
No, but remember the
Jesus
Brainstorm
Christ.
you had against Andrea Mangucci at the ELM when he played Chalice on 1? You respawn, you Brainstorm, then you
That-
literally get like everything you needed
Dude,
in your
that's
hand.
exactly what I meant. So like Andrea Mangucci went like Chalice of the X1 against me, and on stack I Brainstorm. I Brainstorm exactly into Cabal Ritual and Doomsday or something like that. And like that Brainstorm literally decided the game, you know, where he's like the same Brainstorm in a control deck would have maybe gotten just weaker cards in general, right?
Find a Force maybe, or the
Yeah,
blue
maybe
card to
so.
pitch,
But then the
or-
game's not over, you know, like
No.
that's maybe like the point I want to make. So like Ponder will obviously stay in Legacy, and it will be always a 4-off in any combo deck, Show and Tell, Doomsday, you name it, Storm. But in fair decks, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if people cut Ponders maybe for actual like some interaction on the board instead. You know, for cards like, I don't know, Icewing Quartel maybe that kind of cantress, but also like, you know, has like a body attached to it, so it impacts the board a little bit. Things like that, right?
I'm not sure I'm quite at the like actively trying to cut it, but yeah, it's definitely not at its height. I don't know if you saw, but the showcase qualifier, May, who's one of the, like the best Magical Line players, came second with 3 Ponders in their deck.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah,
There you go.
It's,
Uh-oh.
it's the
It's
beginning.
happening.
It's always the Japanese players. They just are so smart and ahead of everyone else. I feel like.
Yeah, dude. They live in the future, man.
Yeah, May was
That's
playing.
actually why Kai had to leave Japan. I was like,
It
dude,
wasn't
sorry,
good
you
enough.
don't cut it here anymore.
Yeah.
GG,
Literally
bye-bye.
from the future.
Yeah, May was playing Delver, but like without Delvers, so like the blue-red Murktide mid-range deck. So like had main deck E as well as another answer to Chalice, and Shredder.
Dude,
and
main
stuff.
deck EE, I've been wrecked by fucking main deck EE.
Yeah, I saw. Just like destroyed.
Yeah.
Thrown into the trash. Game 1, you just lose the match. It was so brutal.
But yeah. I wonder. There's like Callum mentioned, right? I'm not sure whether we are at the point of like cutting Ponder because it's still like
It's still great.
I
It's
was
one-
I was almost gonna say it's
but-
still blue, so it like also ups the blue count while
Pitch
being
to
playable.
falls. Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's just so much more punishing mechanics and cards and play patterns in the format than in the past. That's it.
I guess it's still like a great top deck in the late game.
Yeah.
Even though I never really bought into that like being relevant, but
I mean, when Delver just always like you get them empty-handed and they draw Ponder into EI into Murktide and like sweet.
oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's our hot take. A very hot take, and
Let's see where we are next year.
I was just gonna say, like, I really want to like re-listen to this episode and end of 2023 and just be like, dude, what 3 idiots? Holy shit, dude.
you know they're gonna reprint like a functional like the same Ponder in some
Yeah,
kind
like-
of like supplementary set, and everybody plays 8 Ponder, and we're like, oh,
Right, yeah.
yeah, okay. So anyway, that was fun.
If they made that Sylvan Library Brainstorm,
Painstorm.
then Death Shadow is just the best deck in the
Painstorm.
format. Can you imagine Death Shadow going Ancestral Me, play my Death Shadow?
Oh my goodness.
Bad, Julian. Bad. Stop.
Oh, but the name is so amazing, Painstorm.
Painstorm's
Come on.
good. Well, if you make it a Painstorm, make it like draw 2, put 1 back. Because
Yeah.
it's painful because it's worse.
But that's a good point you made, because I am also like Legacy is slowly becoming vintage,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
You know what we should really
power-wise-
do?
Yeah.
You should really have like a thing where we take a vintage deck from 2000 and I don't know, like how far can you go in vintage to
You definitely need to go before Bolas' Citadel. I think that was a
yeah.
big
Like
turning
I
point
was
in the format.
thinking about like vintage from 2005 versus today's Legacy, And I'm actually curious who would win.
Oh, I bet Legacy would win. Yeah.
I mean, as long as Legacy like gets to, I mean, as long as you don't go like Bazaar and Legacy just like doesn't
Wait,
have
no,
graveyard stuff.
because back then you had like 4 Chalice, 4 Trinisphere,
That's true.
Lodestone.
Oh, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
And you had 8 spheres, yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
8
no,
spheres,
like the other sphere
Lodestones,
came in 2007. So 2007 would be like where you have 8 spheres and then like 4 Trinis.
I mean, a Legacy deck could probably beat a deck like Oath, for example, right? Because of Prismatic Ending and whatnot, and Countess.
Yeah,
and probably
potentially.
also a lot of like those like fish decks. But Mitch's Workshop is
Which kind of like bullshit did both decks actually get before like Griselbrand? I'm trying to remember. Oh, wasn't there like
They got Runescar Demon for a while.
yeah,
To
that
get
gave you like
turn
extra
one.
turns and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not exciting.
No. Before that was like, I don't know.
Somebody should set it up.
I bet they used to play Vizara.
But I played Oath my very first event and I got Hellkite Overlord.
Nice.
And then there was a time I think people also played like Achroma, but then there
Yeah.
was like this middle period where
Look, we're talking about pre-modern now. You know, people get Phantom Neshoba off Oath.
yeah, but those are the bad lists, right?
Yeah.
Like Mark Vogt played like the good list with like
With Shard Phoenix.
Shard Phoenix and the other guy is Ancient something. Where you
it's
gain
like
life equal to your graveyard.
Cards in graveyard. Yeah, it's Ancestral.
This is Chosen.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
it's like 7 mana 4/4.
It used to be a card in Dredge in 2010 when I played
Yeah,
Dredge
I
for like
remember
one
that.
event.
Speaking of Achroma, one of my hot techs to maybe break the showcase qualifier with Dungeon Stompy was the red Achroma with Ephemerate and Touch
Instead
the
of
Spirit
Fury?
Realm.
Are you shitting
Yeah.
me? Holy crap.
6/6 flying haste pro white baby. That was one of my
You know-
ideas.
you know like the craziest tech I've heard so far.
Wait,
is
so-
By
an
the way,
idea
sorry
of
to interrupt you
Dungeon-
there. For those who are wondering, that's a morph, so you can morph it and then ephemerate it to the front side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart. Okay.
Yeah, we don't
Because-
hardcast it, Kai.
Oh no. Okay. Oopsies.
Because the flicker effects are just good with like solitudes and stuff as well, and your initiative creatures. So,
Oh, damn, you guys so smart.
well, the idea is from kinda MTG, a friend
Yeah.
of ours.
What a
But,
big brain.
Yeah, he does.
I was thinking about also. I had like this other card. I just picked it up somewhere like the other day. It's Anima, Soul of
Oh, God.
whatever. It's like a
Yeah.
commander. It's like a Timur rock colored commander. It has protection white and black, and so it basically reads protection from mono white Dungeon Stompy initiative, and also protection from Dismember. Dude, what a tech!
But it's a 1/1, and then you get like counters as creatures ETB.
No, just gets gut shotted and that's
Yes,
it.
I was about to say gets gut shotted or
The
walking
the
ballistic.
thing is, like, seriously though, like people, we talk about Gutshot, but Gutshot literally has only been in the decks for like a couple of days. Like nobody these days plays Gutshot in these decks anymore,
Yeah,
do
because
they?
everyone went onto Blood Knight.
Yeah, but so like in that case,
Or-
like Gutshot shouldn't really be a factor anymore, should it?
I have seen another one of the ideas was Circle of Protection white for the mirrors.
Oh, dude, that brings
Yeah.
gloom back again.
Holy shit, dude! This is old school magic. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
hey.
Well, because they can't even touch the Spirit Realm. It's creature or artifact. So like, if you get white thing in and just keep mana up, they can only hit you with that 4/1 skeleton. I think. Nothing else, right?
Yeah, unless you have like I don't know, like I've seen people with Walking Ballista, but that's not really a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Cop White is still the answer to the mirror.
Actually,
Cop white.
actually, isn't there like that rune that actually like Rune of Protection that has cycling, and you need like a white mana to activate? Is that worse?
Might be. Yeah, it's much worse because you can't use like a Ancient Tomb or a...
Oh, that's true.
Did you know if there's a Patron play on white and then you tap Ancient Tomb, you could prevent the damage?
But how would you? Oh, but you need to proactively like do
So
it,
if
right? Because it's not
the
trigger.
ancient, yeah, so if the Ancient Tomb is white with Painter, you tap
Mhm.
it, the trigger goes in the stack saying deal 2 damage to you.
Oh, but there's no
pay-
trigger. Ancient Tomb doesn't have a trigger.
Oh, sorry, so you do it before you tap it. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's what I meant was like
you
preemptive.
You're right. Yeah, sorry, my bad. So yeah, you choose the Ancient Tomb and then you tap it and it prevents the damage.
I want to see you win
Sick,
like a
dude.
big event that way.
I mean, maybe Shortcake could play Cop White.
I don't know. Maybe I'm like I'm so tribal when it comes to these different painter decks. I'm like Shortcake.
I love Shortcake.
You
They're
love
playing.
it?
They're playing.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I once won. I lost a table tennis match over in the Enlightened Tutor when I was in school in 7th grade, and ever since I hate
That's
Enlightened
it.
Tutor.
They're playing Cop Blue for Murktide as well at the moment. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
But,
no, that's cool.
Yeah. And over the you name Blue with Painter as well, so it's like Cop everything. Anyway, any paint to the deck that doesn't have cantrips, I'm a fan of. So I think
Cool. So, in speaking of winning big events with interesting decks, actually those decks are not that interesting. But we still should like at least bring them up, right? We had 3, 4, like it depends on how you count. Some of the very, very biggest legacy events we have seen in like, I want to say like 5 years or something, like outside of like maybe GPs. And we already talked about Bologna 4 Seasons last time, which was actually the biggest legacy event of the year at 480, I want to say. But Eternal Weekend in North America is basically just as big. It had 468 players. And look at that top 8.
I think this event was a lot of people expected it, but this was the real breakout of paper initiative Stompy or Dungeon Stompy. I was listening to the Eternal Glory podcast the other day. I think they put it quite well. I can't remember who exactly said it, but they said there was a lot of people there who knew whisperings of the deck, but they're not clued into, all the podcasts or what's going on in Magic Online. So they keep buying new cards for it. They see their deck and what additions they get, but they weren't ready for the absolute raw power of this deck. And I think it ran a lot of people over in paper.
Yeah, and it certainly shows in the win rate, right? First of all, we have 3 copies in the top 8 in the hands of Chris McGuire, Robert Hayes, and Eric English. Eric English is a name I remember. Didn't Eric like play Lance or something or Telva?
I don't know much about him other than our friend of the podcast, Kinda. He said he taught him how to play Legacy in America back in the day. So shout outs to Eric. That's really cool. You've created this monster that is Patrick.
Oh, and then he had to adopt like that name, English. Oh no, it's the other way around. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, this deck, Mono White Initiative, was the second most played deck in this almost 500 player event, and it had a 65% win rate.
That is insane, man.
Both of those things are insane for like a brand new deck with 4 City of Traders, which some people will have, but like for a quote unquote new deck, I know the cards came out 6 months before, but like it was kind of new in spirit, and both those things are completely ridiculous. 65 is unreal, and to be the second most played deck, like for something that's just come on the scene officially, like mental.
Yeah, and that's a lot of Thalias also.
says the Ponder Boy.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting that you mentioned that part about like people not being super prepared for it. I noticed that at 4 Seasons as well. One round there was a guy sitting next to me who was playing Death in Texas, and he had never seen the deck, and he like had every card of the initiative deck explained to him. And at some point I might have mentioned that he takes the seasoned Dungeoneer and he literally holds it over to me. And in like Italian English, he basically goes like, "This card is ridiculous." And I'm like, "Yeah, welcome to Legacy right now."
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but yeah, we saw the 65% win rate in that, and on the very same day, Eternal Weekend Online took place. Initiative Stompy was also the second most played deck there, but it only had a 55% non-mirror win rate.
I think 55 is still insane because Magic Online is so prepared for it.
I was gonna say that people there were more prepared for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 55 is still high, very high. It's basically the barrier that Wizards have quoted of if a deck is consistently over 55, that's where they look at it, and if it carries on doing it, they take action.
Yeah, something that also stuck out to me. By the way, big shout outs to Warlord XP and the entire Legacy Data Collection crew, because that's where I get all these stats from. The matchup against Derba in the paper event in North America was 62%. They won 42 matches and lost 25. 62% against Deva, like, whoa, holy moly.
So much as well. Yeah.
But the second most played deck in the format, like Deva, that must be like a pretty rude awakening for them. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And then it was less in the online one, though, right?
And the Deva, it was, and the online one was basically even. Like, it was 27 to 32, which is like, that's just like too close to call.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, I'm still in the camp of, I want to see what happens in the next couple of months, but these first numbers are very scary. But, I'm not like players need time to adapt. I'm not totally sure that we can adapt. Like, the deck is insane. But it's going to be interesting with, like, the biggest target on its head, what happens.
Yeah, at Etc. we just had a tournament with, like, 40-something players. And first place, second place, White Initiative.
Oh, what was? I think I saw like what the top 6 decks after Swiss was Ancient Tomb decks, something like that.
Yeah, we actually had no. I believe we had absolutely no brainstorm deck in the top. Actually, let me pull it up here.
It's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, somebody commented like, did you have like a special event where you just literally just straight up
Hey,
ban
ban
brainstorm or
brainstorm.
something?
You just brainstorm.
It's soft banned.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we should also mention that there's in the Magic Online event there was 3 copies of Elves, which seems to be like a decent deck against both Delver and Mono White Initiative.
yes,
Stompy. It's not super good, but it's decent.
No, I think this was like the breakout weekend of. There's a pattern. So I think the decks we've kind of covered as good against Initiative so far is like Cephalid Breakfast and Painter, and then Elves, like Reduke came 9th at the American Eternal Weekend with Elves, with like combo Nettle Elves, and then that same day, as Julian said, we had 3 all Nettle combo Glimpse of Nature combo Elves in the Magic Online weekend. And these are not flukes. The deck is good against Initiative, very good. We've seen Aaron Relentless, who's been doing pretty well online recently with it as well, and he's back to championing like this style. And all these decks together, so like Elves and Painter and Cephalid Breakfast, have ways to win, which don't use combat damage. I know Kraytooth actually wins with the combat damage, but not really. But they play to the board, right? So they don't get hit by the Elite Spellbinder as much, and they have ways to beat Chalice as well, like Painter has Urza Saga to get the Grindstone, Cephalid Breakfast has Urza Saga to get the Shuko, or you can like Stoneforge it in, or Elves has Shepherd and stuff. So they all have all the tools to like play to the board, so you can take the initiative if you need to, play around it. And then just this like overwhelming combo that isn't just blocked with big creatures, basically. They kind of go wide to an extent as well, or they just play a combo that gets ignored by the board presence that Stumpy tries to build up. So I think Elves is definitely one of the best decks in the format to beat initiative as well.
Yeah, I can definitely buy that. Honestly, I haven't played it all that much lately. Really not all that much. Certainly not against White Initiative, but I'm pretty optimistic, let's say. It's still, when it comes to Deva, you know what I think about the matchup. I think it's just like straight up even, or could even be bad if Deva comes like really prepared for Elves, because Elves usually can't afford to be really prepared for Deva. But it's like always a matchup that you play. It's neither direction really, where you feel like, oh, this is bad. But overall, yeah, very, very good choice right now.
Well, something to note is like sweepers, to an extent of like Rough Tumble and stuff, that were good against Moon Stumpy and stuff, are not very good against Initiative Stumpy. So I think we're seeing less sweepers, and we're probably seeing, I'm trying to work out what Delver are kind of cutting from their sideboards to try and find tools to beat Initiative. And I think it's stuff like the in the festivities, it's stuff like the second Meltdown, it's stuff like the third or second Surgical. It's these cards which you can probably work out what they're kind of trim and trying to take advantage of. So I think Delver does have less sweepers at the moment.
The thing is, like, nobody really cares all that much about the graveyard anymore, right? I mean, Reanimator is still there, but other than that, actually, let me look up the data of the Legacy Data Collection group. They have graveyard at, okay, so in Eternal Weekend Online was like 10% graveyard decks. So, I mean, whatever graveyard actually means, but let's just go with that. And in paper, it was 4% graveyard decks.
Because no one wants to go to Eternal Weekend and play Reanimator, or very few.
I mean, that's the only graveyard deck that people really care about these days, right? What else is there? Like a dedicated graveyard deck where you feel like, oh, I really want graveyard hate. Like Dredge used to be a thing, but it hasn't been.
Yeah.
Like,
no, Endurance just killed Dredge.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically Reanimator, and there's online you have to play Graveyard Hate because there's just tons of Reanimator online,
especially in leagues, right?
Especially in leagues, but in challenges there's always like a couple floating around.
Yeah.
But yeah, paper, I think you could probably just cut your Graveyard Hate and move on with your life.
Yeah, but it's maybe like a good point for combo decks in general, right? Like the for a combo deck to be good right now in Legacy, like it has to be fast. It has to absolutely be fast, because the best decks are currently it's a tempo deck, and it is a aggro prison style of deck. And I wouldn't be surprised if even a deck like Belcher would be
that's what I've been saying,
like reasonable, because. You know, like if I look at the top 3 decks, and like let me count Elves as one of the top 3, even though it sees not a lot of play, but it is like one of the super rare decks that has a decent matchup against both the Dungeon Stompy and the Delver deck. It's like Belcher is kind of good against all the non-blue decks up there. It is obviously not excellent versus the Delver deck, but even like if you burst out a lot of fast mana and then they hold a forcible for your Belcher, but then you end up like casting Empty the Warrens for maybe 10 or 12 or something, that could also maybe steal the deal.
I could really buy this. Empty, take the initiative,
Yeah, dude. Dude, yeah, hell yeah.
But then you don't have a base to go and get.
And also, like, a side effect is also that both, like, the Belcher deck and also, like, Reanimator, they don't play blue spells, and everyone is so focused on Blast, blue elemental, red elemental.
Yeah.
And then even ridiculous cards like Gloom, like, none of those cards tackle the Belcher deck or, like, a black-red Reanimator deck. And like I even saw like Mark-Eric Vogt's 4-color control deck. Like it literally only had 1 or 2 slots versus graveyard hate. I think it was like a single endurance and like I don't know, like a.
I just like I added up Oops All Spells and Dredge in the Eternal Weekend North America event. Out of 468 players, guys, how many people do you think played Dredge and Oops All Spells combined? 468 players. You combine Dredge and Oops All Spells, all of the players. How many?
I would guess less than 10.
Yeah, I would guess 5 to 10.
Yeah, it's 5.
5.
Yeah.
Man.
It's 2 Dredge players and 3 Oops All Spells players.
Yeah, I do think paper.
Oh, holy fucking shit!
You
know what? Oops All Spells went 2 and 11.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So there's no graveyard hate. I mean, there's no graveyard decks, but people still bring the hate for sure.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Oops All Spells is more dependent on like actually their stuff resolving, whereas Dredge can just like sometimes piece together a game plan, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
Holy shit!
That's tough.
That's very tough, yeah. But the thing is, like, whenever you recommend, let's cut some graveyard hate, just I wish I hadn't done it.
Yeah. But the rest of this Magic Online event, so the 3 elves breakout, I think, for that, as we said, like Initiative, some people's kind of the breakout at Eternal Weekend in North America. There was still, in North America, there's 2 Blue-Red Delvers, one winning, and the other being Samantha Murphy, who's a very good player, and like usually playing Doomsday, it was just like, nah, Delver's too good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Samantha like on energy coverage playing Doomsday. I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure.
She won. Oh, she top 81 at least. I can't remember where she. I think top forward with like Tempo Doomsday with like Murktides.
Oh, I remember that.
Stuff.
Yeah, that was like right before Kai won, etc.
Yeah.
When Doomsday players start to pick up Delver, not a good sign. Not a good sign.
Yeah. And then the rest of this was 3 Delvers, 3 Elves, and then a Dungeon Stompy came second, and then 4-color control with one of Magic Online's best grinders, Medvedev.
Wait. Hank's song is for. Oh, you mean in the online event? Okay.
Yeah.
That was Medvedev.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the former prime minister of Russia or something?
Yeah. So he's not. That's not him. But yeah. It's
I mean, you
guy.
gotta make money some way, I guess. By the way, shout outs to the winners. I think or at least I haven't mentioned the winner of the North American event. That's Jay Wojciechowski, I believe.
Yeah.
Legacy Online is Mephedro. And yeah, big shout outs. Especially that finals match, Blue-Red Aggro against the 4-color control of Hank Song in the paper event. Dude, that was something. I want to say that lasted
Did you see the double price of progress, dude?
Yeah,
that was
to end
crazy,
it right. I'm just like, I'm a sucker for price of progress against 4-color decks. Just give it to me all day long. Didn't he actually didn't Jay actually like Price of Progress and then like Mystic Sanctuary back and Price of Progress again?
Dude, it was so cool. Like crack fetch land in response Price of Progress, deal minimal damage to themselves, and then their fetch land gets Mystic Sanctuary and just puts it like right back on top. Dude, it was so
right out of nowhere,
so
I guess.
Good. Every time I see players like casting something and then like hold priority and do something in response, dude, I love this. I love this stuff so much. Like be it LED or fetch and crack and response, blah blah blah.
Do you remember that old puzzle of Ad Nauseam Tendrils against?
Dude, it is one of my
Marcus?
absolute favorites, dude.
Yeah.
Like how to beat Past and Flames with a surgical and fetch land. Oh my goodness,
So good.
it is so good. It is so good.
For those who don't know, quickly, you're trying to counter Past and Flames, but you don't want your opponent to cast it right back again because then you would lose. So before you counter it, you put a fetch land on the stack. Then you counter it, and then since there's still an activated ability in your stack, your opponent can't play the Past and Flames hit, and then you surgical it. And it was just like one of the coolest puzzles I've ever seen because it also is like an actual common situation that can happen in game, and that
This
really made
happens with the Uro now. Like, yeah.
it happens with Uro now. So you
Like
yeah, it's basically the same thing, right?
if you have like a pyroblast and a surgical as Delver,
And if they have like 5, if they have how much mana do they need? 7 mana,
yeah, or like
or 6 if they put a land into play.
exactly. So it happens quite a lot where like the control deck post sideboard will try and do it so they can play it and get into play straight away. But then Delver has
If they stack their triggers correctly.
Yeah, true.
Oh man, cool. Yeah, so that's it, I guess, for those 2 big events. And then there was another really big event that otherwise we would be talking about all episode long. But dude, there's just like so many big legacy events happening all around the world, literally in Europe, online, in North America, and in Japan as well. There's the Eternal Party Tokyo. Kai, tell us about what is an Eternal Party?
So Eternal Party happens every year in December. It's like the end of the year kind of like wrap-up tournament. It usually happens in either Tokyo or Osaka, sometimes even in both cities, I believe. And
biggest legacy party in the world.
Yeah, dude, I joined it a few times. Not a lot of good results because I was mostly like because it's at the end of the year. After that, there are usually like a lot of like like drinking parties and whatnot. It's like all the people who like 0-3 dropped, and I'm usually one of them. So it's a good like closure of the year, right?
Sounds really fun.
And it's interesting because like the metagame looks a little different. Again, there is Delver as promised, and there's also 4-color control a little bit, and a little bit of mono white initiative Stompy. But I'm kind of happy to see Dark Depths in the top 8. Looks like a turbo list of some sort, I think. And obviously, Japan is like the fishiest country. Dude, there's freaking Merfolk in the top 8. Like, what the fuck is this?
Wait, no. More surprised than Merfolk is Death and Taxes.
Oh yeah, Death and Taxes. Yeah, that I think that guy like probably just forgot to buy
Season Dungeon.
The right initiative. Or couldn't afford to. By the way, Ancient Tomb plays at €200. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah, dude. Ancient is
my god. I am never gonna financially recover from this.
This is literally how I felt when I ordered those for Painter. Like, I didn't even check. I was just like, why is there so much money in my shopping cart? Like, this is just like for the playset of these? The fuck?
But you got to get the nice ones as well.
I did.
Yeah,
That's the problem. But yeah, Kai, do you recognize any of those players?
Yeah, I do. At least half of them.
Let's start from the top. Actually, who won?
So Blue Red Delver won. Like the finals was Blue Red Delver versus Blue Red.
They have names too.
Yeah. So Koso Tomoya always plays Blue Red Delver. Also, he has everything in German, like all his cards.
Oh.
It's like it's like a little thing I popularized in Japan back then.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I told people that.
You left your
German
mark on the
cards
culture? Cool.
Dude, I just told them that German is a pretty cool language. And it was like,
You were going to say the superior language, weren't you? It sounded like it.
I just said that. Yeah.
So,
stuff, right?
There's like a couple of Japanese Delver players running around with like a bunch of like Dämmerzustand in their deck.
Yeah, dude.
In Betracht ziehen.
And Geheimnisstöberers. Yeah, dude.
Geheimnisstöberer.
And I believe that the second player spirit aggro by Koso Tomoya here is the one with 2 counterbalance main and 2 engineered explosives main.
Exactly. And no Delvers.
And no Delvers, exactly, but ledger shredders, and it's like a little bit of like a slower approach of Delver. I'm ready to be equipped to deal with actual Delver. And then like the Merfolk guy, like Shimizu Hiroaki, like he always plays Merfolk. Feel like the first time I saw him was in 2010 or 11, and even back then he was so pumped that the Master of the Pearl Trident got released.
Yeah,
I still remember that. And it's like, dude, he has been playing Merfolk ever since. Like everything is foiled out, I believe.
Maniac.
Lord of Atlantis, like 7th edition foil and whatnot. It's crazy. I honestly I don't know if the deck has a positive matchup against the Dungeon Stompy deck. I kind of doubt it.
I guess we can look at the data, but there shouldn't be much.
But I think like True Name Nemesis is pretty potent in that deck. Or should I say like 8 True Name Nemesis because of Phantasmal Image sometimes.
Yeah.
So the data looks like there only was a single player playing Merfolk, I would guess. Yeah, okay,
so like
that doesn't tell us
87% win rate? Yeah.
No. Looks like they lost a lot.
But Delver is playing 2 true names in the sideboard quite a lot now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the next step, right?
Yeah. So I know I haven't looked at the lists from what we're going over now, but I know Samantha Murphy had 2 in the sideboard. I know Rich Callie plays 2 in the sideboard. So
oh, dude, look at this. in the North America event, 100% win rate of Murfolk against White Stumpy.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Matches.
a single match, 1-0.
Yeah, nice.
That tells us everything we need to know.
Yeah, just stop there. Stop the count. Stop the count.
Stop the count. Oh, look at this. In the sideboard, we have the combo. We have 4 Thassa's Oracle, 4 Paradigm Shift.
Oh, shit. Maybe that's for
pretty
the
cool.
Stumpy matchup.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it kind of looks similar to like Painter or the any of those how do you say like those fair decks with a combo plan B or vice versa. Right?
Yeah. It's
I
just
dig it.
a duke of some kind.
I mean, you could also just like try to beat them on the battlefield, because there's also 4 Tide Shaper, which is going to give your opponent islands, so you can try to landwalk them out, I guess. Or yeah, I guess you could also like Phantasmal Image some of the initiative creatures.
True.
That's like cheating, dude. Wait, you paid 4 mana for this white 4-drop? Wait,
No,
what?
discount for me.
Let me do that for half the price. It's like a bargain.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, does that make you want to play more Legacy again in Japan at least? You already mentioned, right? There's not too many white initiative. Actually, but let's look at the top 16. There's
Kai,
stuff for the breakfast, Omni Show. Kai's playing Murfolk, yeah.
Yeah, could someone please sell me Lord of Atlantis and Curse Catcher?
Yeah, you're gonna get some like I don't know, white borders.
Whatever other Murfolk is played. Just give me like 20 random fishies.
What a man does just not to play Gloom. Dude, I've seen your future and it's Gloom.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna play 3 or 4 Gloom at God of Legacy.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna try it online, and tomorrow you can be like, "Holy shit, Callum! Oh my god!"
I found this new tech, dude. I found this new card.
Yeah, you're playing it in the main. Actually, Callum, can't we like do something with Gloom and Painter, and then make everything white? But then we also have to pay for our own spells, right? Gloom is like
I think
symmetrical,
so.
like basically all the
work.
stuff is.
That sounds terrible.
I just you know what? I'm looking at the German version of Gloom. I just love it. Das Sprechen weißer Zaubersprüche verteuert sich 3 Mana. It sounds like out of some like RPG or something.
Well,
Sounds
Kai
like-
would get German ones, right?
Sounds like a curse to me, huh? Yeah, dude. Most likely. If maybe they're Japanese ones too, but I don't think that beta was.
I'm looking at
Printed in
Gloom now.
Japanese.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at Gloom. I need to see the art is kind of evil as well.
Art is amazing.
Yeah. All right.
Dan
Gloom.
Fraser, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Isn't that like an actor, Dan Fraser? Dan Fraser?
I'm not sure.
I thought so. Anyway.
I don't like the 5th edition art. It's like a guy in a tower. I mean, it's very fancy, but
Yeah, his eye is weird.
yeah, it's a bit weird. All right, Kai, you need to get the beta ones though. Sorry.
Okay, I do as you say.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So, guys, should we move on? Should we get into like a review of the year that was 2022? It's actually kind of crazy how fast this passed by.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah,
Cool.
a lot has happened.
So, I put together the show notes and about basically all the major stuff that happened this year. And on the way home from where I was before work, I tried to dodge that. But yeah, I put them together at work at some point, maybe. I was in the car. I was like, it kind of feels like we forgot something, right? Like, oh my god, in general, like we actually had like one of the very last ban in Legacy. Ragavan got banned on the 25th of January. Ragavan got banned after people have been complaining about it for like a long time. And Callum, you copied the reasoning for it in here. Do you want to read it out or talk about it?
So didn't do the whole thing, but I thought this was the most interesting bit when it got banned, and it's what people latched onto fairly. So January 25th, he said it was a lot of bans happened, but only one for Legacy, which was Ragavan. And then they said, quote, "We'll be keeping an eye on how the Legacy format continues to evolve in the coming weeks and are willing to make further adjustments soon if needed. However, we feel that this is a large change and would like to see how the metagame adapts before considering if other changes are necessary." So a big narrative for the year since then is, I mean, my reaction to that was massively positive. I thought that they're saying like, look, this might not be enough, but we want to see if this does enough before having like a knee-jerk reaction and banning multiple things. I'm a fan of that approach for sure. But a big narrative this year has been, are they giving us the same data that we see? Like they've said that there's like less 9% Delver in leagues as opposed to Exvolt was it Exwellroth?
Or at XP.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, there we go. Finding 20-something% in leagues or in the challenges and stuff. So there is a big delta between league data and competitive like challenges and big events for sure. So a big narrative has been some people feel very strongly that things are obviously too strong in Delverland and something else needs to be changed, and they promised that they would do that and they haven't done that, so they haven't kept their promise. But my read is that they think things are okay and they're looking at the data and it's like, you know, within their parameters of things to be okay. So yeah, and now I don't know where we stand. It's a year later. I think they've handled the B&R list for a long time very well, so I'm sitting comfortably thinking I'd love a few cards in that deck to be booted into the sun, but don't really mind.
I mean, right now I guess they have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I'm personally bored of Delver, but we've had so many new cards coming in and out. Like, for someone that's so invested in playing and talking about and thinking about Legacy constantly, most days basically, like there is enough new stuff coming in and out, stirring things up. Like, obviously we've just had, I think Dungeon Stompy is the biggest shakeup we've seen since Eldrazi came onto the scene. Like, it's a huge thing. It's completely turned the format around, and
it feels a bit unreal, honestly.
Yeah. I think I guess another similarity would be like in the middle of COVID when no one's allowed to go outside. Was when we had Lurrus and Breach. Those formats didn't really exist. It only existed for people that played online a lot, and then everyone else just like heard of it or saw videos and stuff. But yeah,
it's gonna be one of those things, you know, where years from now people are gonna be like, when they make a review of the history of Legacy, they're gonna be like, oh, we totally forgot to talk about like Lurrus and Breach, because like nobody played it actually, except for like, I don't know, a couple hundred people in the world.
Yeah,
at best.
I mean, I think Lurrus is the best card ever printed. So we can probably leave
with the original companion rule, right?
Yes, yeah, with the original companion rule.
When you think about it, it's actually so insane.
Yeah, I think
it just looks so stupid.
It's better than Black Lotus. It's better than Ancestral Recall.
I mean, there's a reason only one card in Vintage has ever been banned outside of like Dexterity and anti or like, I don't know, conspiracy reasons.
Yeah. To be fair, you can't ban Lurrus because it's always played as a one-of. I mean, you can't restrict.
Yeah.
So
that would be funny. It's like, Lurrus of the Dream Den has been restricted. Wop, wop, wop.
But also, like, just to put it in perspective, I saw a tweet today, so I'm copying this, but it's a good way to think about it. So Lurrus got its mana cost doubled, and it still got banned in Legacy and Modern.
Actually, that's a good way to put it.
Oko, if it was 4 mana, would be good, but fine. Imagine Oko costs 6 mana. It's completely unplayable. Imagine Ren and 6 cost 4 mana. Unplayable.
Or rather, like, spread out over 2 turns.
Yeah, like 2 and 2 and
even 2 and 2, unplayable. Like, it's just not good. Lurrus is still banned, and it costs double. It's absurd.
I know there's a small clique of people who are pushing for, like, you know, Serda and stuff to come back. We always gotta keep an eye on those people, because otherwise they might actually make it work.
Zerda is not like Lurrus.
I know. I'm just saying I'm also not super happy for Serda to ever come back, but I know that.
I mean,
I know you are part of that, right? As well.
I have a massive soft spot for Zerda. I fucking loved that deck. I played it so much, and I've never 5-0'd leagues with more bullshit cards than in that deck. Like, you could put anything in there, and you'd win all the time. Like, their reason for banning Zerda was people are not playing it much, but it's winning so much that we're going to just nip it in the bud and get rid of it now. Which is crazy. But anyway, that was a couple of years ago, right? Was it 2020 or 21? I don't even remember. It might have been 20. Like yeah. So anyway, so yeah, Ragavan got banned, and I don't know. I think the banning reaction was fairly well received.
I don't miss it. That's the thing.
Ragavan. I was completely right to ban. That card is stupid.
When I think back about cards they banned, I think the only cards I actually actively miss at times are like Survival of the Fittest. And then Deathrite Shaman and Elves, even though I don't miss it all what Deathrite Shaman did to other decks. Yeah. But yeah, those are the only cards I really actively miss.
I miss Deathrite Shaman as well. I really enjoyed the card. But I think we think differently now with the power of everything else around it. But at the time, I was upset to see it go. Even though Grixis Delver was probably like the best deck and had been for a while, it propped up so many other decks as well. I liked it. I miss Top as well, but that's for another episode between us.
You know, maybe you're gonna convert me if I ever get to play like Paint with Top.
When you weld it out, you'll feel it. But anyway, then we went into February. Why don't you talk to us about February?
February, yeah, that was the month of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, right? That's basically that Cyberpunk set they released, and absolutely loved the flavor. Absolutely loved the flavor, and yeah, I gotta say this gave us a lot of. Is this the most influential set of the year overall? I'm not sure if I want to go there. I think it was the most influential set of the entire year.
Yeah, I really like how the balance of those cards are like just in check, right? Like none of the cards from Neon Dynasty are like criminally overpowered, but they're really, really good. Like, for example, I'm super happy to see a card like Fable of the Mirror Breaker, you know, which really, really like pushes those Engine to Bread type of decks. It is probably super fun to play, and it is really dynamic. It gives just good gameplay, and absolutely the same for Boseiju, Honduras, and Otawara. Sorry. Fuck! I almost broke my own rule, but especially for Boseiju, because Boseiju adds something to a land that has really not been there. And
can we remember what we said about this? So when Boseiju came out, Twitter was doom and gloom. Oh my god, you're getting locked out by this from lands, and we were pretty chill on it. We said, nah, it's just a good card.
Nah, dude.
You know what I actually
happened,
wonder? I don't remember what we said about Fable.
I think we missed it. I would like to go back and listen to it, but I'm very confident that I would.
You know, guys, you're gonna take it from here. I'm actually gonna quickly look up what we said.
You might have said something like, you know, that's probably like too slow. Or
I bet
something.
it's not. I bet it wasn't even in the show notes.
Yeah.
I bet it wasn't. But to be fair, I mean, everyone missed this. Paolo Vita de Rosa wrote an amazing article a few weeks ago, I think, talking about Fable and how even all the pros playing Standard and Pioneer and stuff missed it. It was completely missed. There was like one or two teams in the not the Pro Tour, but like one of the big events on Arena. Like one team played it, and then everyone realized as they were playing against that team. But it's that one was missed by a lot of people, so I'm pretty sure we missed it. Probably wasn't in the show notes.
Absolutely. We also have like the exact opposite, I think, for a card that in my opinion got what was absolutely overhyped, and I still believe that the card is just not very good. Is the Wandering Emperor. It came out as a mythic rare in the set as like a flash planeswalker. But
this one we kind of said was going to be like okay in Legacy, not that good.
The more I look at it, like it just looks like Elspeth with Flash, really.
It's better.
Night Errant.
Like it's seen a little bit of play in Jeskai, like a tiny bit, and I know PVDH plays it in Initiative Stompy, but I'm not too keen on it there. It's okay. It's a role player. A bit. It's just like a fun of, honestly, actually. Other cards that are good though. Lion Sash. We said, this is just an instant staple in D&T, and that's exactly what it's done. It's amazing in D&T. Yeah. Or Stoneforge decks in general. Like it's played in Initiative Stompy with Stoneforge sometimes. But yeah, I think basically Fable and the two lands, Boseiju and Otawara, are the winners here and stuff. Really good. Although I do remember, so gonna have to. We had Reality Heist as a card that Julian put on there, and so it's 5 blue instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Then you look at the top 7 cards of your library. You can reveal up to 2 artifact cards from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom. Julian was like, "Dude, is this the new dig through time?" And I said it was unplayable. So I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it.
Did I actually say that? Because I literally put it in here because I thought like people were hyping this up, and we were like, dude, I'm not sure this is gonna be good enough.
Maybe you weren't that into it, and I'm being uncharitable. But
the thing is, I can't find our show notes from then.
Okay.
Like a year ago, we weren't nearly as professional as we are right now, and it seems our show notes, I didn't give them a proper name, so we will actually have to listen to the episode. Maybe we're gonna do that in the future.
Cool. But I bet I'm pretty confident we missed Fable. Like, I'm pretty confident I missed Fable completely until I saw XJ put it into Moon Stompy, and I was like, oh shit, this is going to be good in Painter.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's important to add that there's never been a card like Fable of the Mirror Breaker, right? Like if there's like a new Planeswalker, people are gonna instantly compare to other Planeswalkers that already see Legacy play, and then it's kind of easy to say, okay, well that card is probably pretty good in deck XYZ, but Fable of the Mirror Breaker is like so different. There's really nothing similar to Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
I can't think of a card that's even close to Fable in terms of disparity between how unassuming it looks and how powerful it is. I can't think of anything even close or an example. Basically, it's
Yeah.
you read it and you're like, oh, so you get a 2/2 that like makes a treasure token, and then you loot 2 whatever, and then you like make a 2/2 that's just going to die instantly. It's like, oh, it's not worth 3 mana, but oh my god, yeah, no. we've ranted about how good Fable is for many moons on this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, when you take us into, I'll go into. Then we had
April?
April, Streets of New Capenna.
By the way,
So-
did we touch on Letter Shredder?
No, yeah,
That-
that's in Streets of New Capenna.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
dude, I'm so bad. I put it in the wrong column.
I
Okay.
know. I was trying to cover for you, like, oh, he's-
Ah, damn. I should have trusted you.
So yeah, Streets only gave us Ledger Shredder. At the same time, Kappa Cannoneer was in one of the Commander decks, which was Streets themed. Can't remember the exact name of it, but it had loads of artifacts and stuff.
This was such a pain in the ass to research, by the way. Like, if you go to Scryfall and you type in some kind of expansion or set, then you get like 5 hits for it.
Yeah.
Because I literally looked at all the cards and I was like, oh my god, is this like Commander Legends? Is this Commander Legends Baldur's Gate? Is this Commander Legends Commander? What the fuck?
And then
Yeah,
they all have different like finishes, like the old borders. and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. This was the worst review I've ever put together.
Imagine being a vendor having to sort everything out every time.
Dude, I've actually seen them complain about that shit.
Yeah, no, legit, it's awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, cool. Basically, I'm trusting your show notes that if there's any other ones that we're missing, we can blame you. But Ledger Shredder is a big winner of Streets of New Capenna, and it is a great card. It saw a ton of play at the beginning in the Delver vs Delver deck, and it kind of trailed off. But again, in the showcase qualifier recently, May came second with it, and it is still as like a 2 or 3 of in the kind of Delver vs Delver deck. I've seen it pop up a little bit in Urza Echo kind of decks as well. It's kind of cool tool there. But otherwise, that's it. It's definitely retreated a bit, but it's become that's just for legacy. It's played a bunch in modern, and then like a ton in Pioneer, Historic, and stuff. So it's really like a multi-format all-star. So that's a good one. And then obviously Kappa Cannoneer was in the Commander set. This propped up 8-cast a ton. 8-cast was already a really good deck, so people were scared that this would just overrun it. Actually, it turned out to be an amazing card, but like a 3 of an 8-cast, so you just always see it as a 3 of now.
Yeah, the thing is, we while I go back and look into our show notes, like we had like at least 1 or 2 episodes where we keep talking about how stupid Kappa Cannoneer is, and I mean, to its credit, 2J Chim won 3 legacy challenges in a row with 8-cast.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was an insane run. Yeah, I me personally, I definitely overvalued Kappa Cannoneer. I thought the card just looks completely broken. You can cast it turn 2 fairly consistently, but the support,
Yeah, turn 2 fairly consistently.
that's what wasn't true. It's turn 3 fairly consistently, and sometimes turn 2. So that's where I was off personally. It's still a great card, but I was definitely a lot higher on it.
I guess if you really build your deck to turbo out Kappa Cannoneer, you can get to a reasonably consistent Kappa Cannoneer if you have it in hand. But
Yeah.
that's
I think
that's probably not where you want to be.
Yeah, you make too many sacrifices in deck building, where the rest of the 8-cast deck is very well built now and just very good. So you can just prop it in there as like a 3 of rather than trying to turbo it out. So yeah.
I feel like the card has a little bit too much push, like like the fact that it cannot be blocked and things like that. I'm generally fine with a card like Kappa Cannoneer, even though it is a pain in the ass to deal with if you are a control player because of Ward 4 and
Yeah.
like all that kind of nonsense. One thing I really dislike about Kappa Cannoneer is that it counts itself with the +1/+1 counters. That is just not well designed, I gotta say. Like, I rarely complain about things like that, but that is just...
It feels like an oversight, right?
Yeah, they must have missed it because it looks so strange, even on Magic Online.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, for me, that is like one of these things where, like, one of my least favorite things in Legacy at the moment and for the last couple of years or whatever is Murktide growing other Murktides.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's for me the pinnacle of why do you do that? So what is going on? So yeah, I agree. Like, it's on Kappa Cannoneer, it doesn't really matter. Like an extra 1/1 counter doesn't matter, but it's just a kind of like, this card could have not done that and it could have cost 1 more mana and it'd be
exactly.
fine.
I think it was probably like supposed to be a 6-mana 4/4 and not a 6-mana 5/5 with like this many upsides.
Yeah.
Right.
And you could just make it Ward 3. You could, like, there's a lot of tunings where, I mean, we're going to get to it in a minute, but just I was listening to the Depth podcast released today an episode with Gavin Verhey, which is the Christmas episode where they go over like his thoughts on Legacy over the last year, and it's fascinating so far. One of the comments is, "I should have made Seasoned Engineer a 3-3 rather than a 3-4." And it's like, yes, you should have.
Yeah.
I mean, hindsight is always easy to look at and be like, yeah, of course you should have done this and that and stuff. So
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Kappa Cannoneer.
That was spring, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So we had a quieter time. So we were probably still, I don't know, maybe spring was just quieter, or I'm just forgetting about big legacy.
I mean, the thing is, Kappa Cannoneer was already basically spoiled back in February. I saw that we talked about it in February, and then it hit at least the stores in April. We always have some kind of like weird disconnect with Magic Online, and when stuff becomes legal in paper, and I think they changed it up once again. I don't even pretend that I know. In Legacy, it's just like, is this card legal for this big event? Okay, otherwise.
Yeah, Kappa hit 80 to 100 tickets pretty fast, and was like,
I remember that. Now it's like basically nothing, right?
Oh, it's absolutely nothing. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this is like one thing that that is kind of sad about this year 2022 is that it happened to a lot of cards. They just like spiked to just $100, and then they kind of like plummet.
You can buy Kappa Cannoneers for 1.5 ticket now.
That's crazy.
The thing is, the problem is primarily that it spikes that high. I mean, if it's cheap afterwards, it's almost like whatever for me. That's great.
Yeah.
But if it spikes that high, and then you have these couple of weeks where if you want to play those cards, you have to pay, and if you don't, you feel disadvantaged. That's literally the thing that people sometimes like say about Magic, especially when they are not like part of Magic. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, this is play to win," and I mean,
it is on Magic Online with these new cards. It is, and I think everyone hates it. It's not like it's not a hot take at all. It
also happened to Allosaurus Shepherd when it was released, and was also like crazy amounts, and it was so good. I would even say Allosaurus Shepherd was even more influential than, like, it certainly was more influential like Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff you don't want.
Right, and I think we do see the same thing like in the following up ones, because like June is basically the same thing with different cards. We saw Commander Legends, Battle of Baldur's Gate, and there was clearly the one card that everyone was like super excited about was Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes, a 4-mana planeswalker that cannot be red blasted. Right? And I think
and wins the game basically, right?
I think this was a pretty big change for legacy control, like mid-range and control decks, because starting from June, a lot Blue Elemental Blast and Hydroblast obviously got a lot of attention. I don't think that a lot of people played those Blue Blasts before June. No. Maybe not a lot of them, but after June, Blue Blast was insane.
When Ragavan was legal, there was a bunch around, but
right.
But yeah, basically, you're right. Yeah, Minsk and Boo is, I think, a great addition to the format. It's what Control needs. Control needs a clock, and I think it's kept Control in the game basically. Without this, I think it'd just be a dead archetype.
Yeah, like control decks used to play a lot of just mediocre cards to win the long game, such as like Field of the Dead, for example, or like Primeval Titan, or like more Yorians, or I guess you can only play one Yorian, but like things that guarantee you the late game, even Entreaty Angels on like nonsense like that. But
your boy Jace the Mind Sculptor, come on.
Yeah, man, dude, Jace, never forget. Rest in peace, my friend. I think that in June, Jace the Mind Sculptor got officially banned in Legacy.
yeah.
Oh, I love the way you put this.
Minsk and the initiative creatures.
Yeah, like like Legacy gets like those like how do you say, like, there's like those pseudo ban announcements, like, they're kind of unofficial, but everyone gets them.
By the way, we printed better Chase, and it can't be pyroblasted. So it was ooh.
It can be bolted though. It can be bolted. That's important.
Yeah, and it's also like it's kept in check by Caracas, I guess. That's another big thing.
Yeah.
What's so scary about Minsk, of course, is if you have no counterplay for a single turn cycle, they immediately draw 4 cards and even like shoot something of yours, maybe even your Planeswalker.
Yeah, I think it's fit into the format really nicely. Like, being weak to Bolt and Caracas are like 2 things that are played enough, but it just fits fine. Like, I would dislike it if it had one more loyalty so you couldn't bolt it, or like it was not legendary so you couldn't Caracas it. But those 2 keep it. You don't need to keep this card in check. It's still a 4-mana planeswalker and stuff, but it makes it feel fair enough for a lot of strategies. And even if you don't have that kind of interaction, you kind of feel like, yeah, well, the interaction's out there, and I can add these to my deck if it runs over and stuff. But otherwise, it's just a very powerful, great card.
I remember also this
happy
was about the
exists.
time. It might have been when the Daybreak people were taking over. I don't remember exactly when that happened, but there was this huge disconnect between paper and Magic Online because they just couldn't keep up with actually implementing the card in Magic Online. And
my
also a couple of
goodness,
sets were like starting to be super delayed, right, and pushed back. So we had this parallel universe almost. And I remember Maddening Hex at the time was the even bigger card that was talked about. I think that was even released like a year before in like Forgotten Realms or something. And there was this big push for both Minsk and Boo and Maddening Hex to be implemented in Legacy, which they
Hex has
eventually became.
been quite a flop, right? It's just disappeared.
Yeah, it like showed up like a little bit, but then it was you don't really see it at all anymore.
No, which I'm happy about. I really dislike the cards play patterns massively, so I'm pretty happy it's not good. But so Minsk and Boo came out and came on Magic Online, and that was after Kappa Cannoneer and what the price happened and stuff, and then Minsk and Boo hit like 80 to 100 as well, and obviously with a lot of backlash. But can you believe that White Plume Adventure and Seasoned Dungeoneer was in the same set as Minsk and Boo?
It's so insane,
That is
right?
insane. I made fun of you when you talked when you first introduced White Plume Adventurer. Dude.
I wanted to cut
Yeah.
it from the deck.
It's like
remember that?
yeah.
Imagine
now it's
looking
the
at
only
the deck
thing
and
that's
being
actually
like,
survived.
Get that jank card out of here.
and now it is definitely the best card on the deck. Yeah.
Oh man, this is so crazy.
There was people building the deck. There was a bunch. I'm going to forget some, but I know Mr. Lee was playing it in paper, and PVDH was definitely playing it in paper. I saw him testing in a bunch of different things, not just mono white, or at least not mono white at the beginning. But I saw him like do some playing some leagues, like camera matches, and he was like splashing white in Sneak and Show and playing them from the sideboard, which is in hindsight pretty cool and stuff. So yeah, people were trying it out, but there's this weird disconnect between building a new deck in paper isn't what it used to be, right? Like, the source is not that active, and Discord is, active, but there's a lot of noise, but it's also concentrated so much on Magic Online. But I think some of the disconnect is a ton of people knew this deck was going to be good. Like XJ is the most perfect example. He was fighting very hard to get these cards on Magic Online, but playing in paper is a lot more time consuming, and you need to find people that you trust to kind of test with, whereas Magic Online you can just play a ton of matches easily. So I think a lot of people knew the deck was coming, knew it was good, but were just like, I just want to play it on Magic Online. And so there was this kind of weird period in between. It wasn't apparent straight away from June, but there was definitely a few months before these cards came on Magic Online when people were just like waiting for them. And,
yeah, but it took like June, July, August, September, October. Like November is where it actually had like its breakout, right? In a way.
Yeah.
I remember when Andy Fernandez played that Naya Stompy deck at the Mega event at Axiom. And that was like when we first saw White Plume Adventure. That was in November, and then right afterwards, was it PVDH who like did something with that?
Yeah, it depends where you're looking, because Peter White, Power 22, he qualified for ELM with Dungeon Stompy. He played Red White Dungeon Stompy in Scotland.
Oh, Red White Dungeon Stompy. Yeah, with the Caves of Chaos Adventurer.
He was playing Fable mostly, but
okay.
yeah, I think he probably was playing that as well. But also MTGO, French guy, he was playing Dungeon Stompy Light and Paper. So it was out there, but again, in a weird way, I kind of miss this whole I remember testing with friends at a pub and like trying to build new decks and stuff. But Magic Online has just made it so easy that people just want to build decks on there because you can get so many reps and stuff. But
makes you wonder what else we missed.
Yeah, probably true.
Or literally what we are missing right now.
Chaos Defiler.
That card.
Just wait till my boy Defiler gets online.
Did you actually by the way, at Bologna, did you feel you had some kind of, like, maybe not edge, just pushing it too much, like some kind of advantage because people had no idea what's going on with that Defiler?
Yeah, almost every opponent read it and was like, oh shit. Yeah,
That's a good sign.
Yeah, every opponent read it, and twice someone let an engineer resolve with a welder in play, and then was like, shit, I should have killed your welder in response, shouldn't I? So yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, that was I mean, it was the prelude. So that was June, where it was really the Minsk and Boo and Maddening Hex show, but yeah, technically the initiative cards came out then.
Yeah. And then we move on to September, October. We jump into like late summer, early autumn. Dominaria United, and then we also had these Infinity and Warhammer cards. Like I basically clumped them all together, and that was wild in a way. I mean, I have the Anointed Peacekeeper in here, which I want to say is like one of the tier 2 cards in the White Initiative deck. but it also it wasn't played until and that became a deck. But then we had
just
kind of
a good role player, right?
Yeah, pretty much, right?
It only exists because the deck exists. But yeah,
The funny thing about it is if you get a turn 1 and you get to look at their hand and you name the fetch land they have.
yeah.
Good. It's like a clunky version of the sorcery spyglass, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just like the Archon better. Archon of Maria's Reach.
Oh yeah,
It's basically the same against all their fetch lands. But yeah, the card, it wasn't that sad. Didn't really do anything until the initiative Stumpy came out. The biggest card at the time, I want to say, was it like Shieldred? Or is that... What the fuck is that? Oh, that's Callum. Callum, you moved into the worst part of London. There's a police car. Like, you only ever hear this on American podcasts.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, there was those police driving past my home.
Call the ambulance.
Shit, they've come to arrest me for saying Shield was bad. Probably when it came out.
Oh man, what a sweet autumn, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wizards, for this powerhouse Shieldred, the Apocalypse.
Queen Shieldred.
I was gonna say this is probably by far the card my most favorite card of the whole year.
I absolutely adore it as well. Like the art, everything about it's so cool.
It is super powerful, obviously, 4 mana 4/5, and but it's not oppressive. It just needs a couple of turns. It has to stick around to get the job done. You can Karakas it, and
it feels similar to Minsk and Boo, where there's enough counterplay that's just common enough that you can feel like you could build your deck to beat it if the card became too good or oppressive and stuff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I love about the deck, about the card? It's just like you look at it, and it initially doesn't really feel like something you pay 4 mana for in Legacy, but the moment you play with or against it, you feel like, oh shit, this is so much better than I anticipated.
I'd like to go back and listen to the episode because I bet I didn't think it was good. I
don't know if we actually reviewed it. We had Max Gilmore on the cast to talk about his showcase win, and I played an audio clip from Anurag on the Elo Panthers podcast.
Oh yeah,
where Anurag was basically, he called it cheese, and he said Max is not gonna be playing this the next week, and Max heavily pushed back against that.
Yeah, I remember that now.
I don't know whether we actually actively talked about it all that much. That was
no. But it's also in a way similar to Fable, where it's quite unassuming. It's 4 mana 4/5. Death Touch feels quite irrelevant on a 4/5, but maybe you can attack into a Motai, whatever. But whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Meh. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. Meh. But as the package and as the quote unquote weird combo with Dark Ritual, it's just a great dupe for these kind of decks.
Also, wait until you cast the first Brainstorm post Shieldred.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is. Dude, that is literally the opposite of pain storm, whatever.
Yeah, that's bliss storm.
Good old life gain storm.
Healing storm.
Yeah,
oh,
it's another unassuming thing that's feels great for the format, a really nice.
I'm happy with
nice
cards
card.
like that around.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of those episodes right now, but we didn't really review anything there. All that much. Well, there was one episode we could have done it, but you instead won the Legacy Challenge, so we talked about that.
I'm sorry.
Sorry for winning.
We did review a lot less sets this year, just because we.
Yeah, we didn't go
more
every
specific
single
cards.
card.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Still like it the way it is.
Yeah.
And then that's Shieldred in Dominaria United, my favorite football team of all times. And then we had Infinity, and Infinity is still weird. Remember when everybody was talking about that mind or underscore goblin?
We can call it Mind Goblin. It's
Mind Goblin. Okay, let's go with Mind Goblin. And people were like, "Oh, but you promised us that stickers are not gonna be a thing in Legacy." It's we betrayed our trust with Mind Goblin, and now I'm gonna put Muxus into play on the first turn, and nothing ever happened.
No, top forward Axiot with James Mills.
But, did he actually? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Look at me now. Okay.
Yeah. Mind Goblin these top 4s.
Is Mind Goblin actually on Magic Online?
No.
How would it be, right?
No. So I think stickers probably never coming to Magic Online.
Yeah, it's just too advanced of a technology.
For good or for bad. This doesn't use
Don't
stickers,
have sticker technology.
I'm coming around to Comet being quite powerful, actually. I think the card is pretty good.
Wait, Goblin?
No, Comet, the Planeswalker dog.
Oh, the dog with where you roll dice and
yeah.
Which can technically win out of nowhere every one
I think
in
it's
128 games or something.
0.4% it wins out of nowhere.
I've seen it at Four Seasons. I've seen some people play it at Four Seasons.
Oh, I mean, in the Sunday main event, I've forgotten his name now. Young chap. He went 8-2 with like White Red Initiative Stompy playing 3 Comets.
Is it actually called Comet?
Yeah, Comet Stellar Pup.
Oh, the name of the pup is Comet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like some random nickname.
But people playing it in like 4-color control, and as a 1 or 2 of it, it's pretty powerful actually. So I initially was like, oh, it's a cute dog, lol. But no, it's pretty good. So I think when it comes on Magic Online, we might see it. I think we'll see it a bunch more.
Oh, it's not on Magic Online yet?
No.
Oh, see, that's just like such a catalyst. Like that, if you get the card on Magic Online, it can explode in a week. It does well in a challenge, and then it's everywhere. Whereas, like we've seen with the initiative deck, right? It's just like you can't make it until you've made it on Magic Online. Except for Chaos Defiler.
Well, it's still not made it. I've in one of the discords I'm in for like multiple legacy decks. I've got someone to rename the painted channel just called Chaos Defiler Waiting Room. Like my enthusiasm to play the deck is just it's not there for Magic Online currently because it just feels like what's the point? I know that Defiler's like a part of the future of the deck, so yeah.
You know, you should actually get that for Warhammer 40k model and just like put it on the table whenever you play.
I hate the model.
It's super ancient, right? It's like over 20 years old. You told us.
It's pretty old, but Patrick, don't kill me because Patrick loves it. But it's like really old and dorky. It's super dorky. That's why a lot of people like it as well. But I wish I liked the thing. The card looks super cool. I love the art. And I like the kind of style, but the actual model is huge and really dorky. He says about Warhammer. I love all the other ones, but yeah. But speaking of Warhammer, another card that I think is actually incredible is Morlock. Again, not on Magic Online. Morlock is so strong. It's another really unassuming card, but just the flexibility of where it goes up and down, where you cast it on the curve, is so good. So I'll just repeat what it does. So it's a green, red, and X, 2/2, and it has Ravenous, which means this creature enters the battlefield with X or 1 counters on it, so the X is in the cost. If X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. It's probably rarely going to be 5 or more to draw the card, but whatever, like it's a nice little bonus. But essentially, it's a 2-mana 2/2, 3-mana 3/3, 4-mana 4/4, up and up and up. But then when it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. We've seen these effects before. Like we've got Flame Tongue Kavu, we've got Fire Imp, we've got like stuff like that. But one, you can Green Sun Zenith for this, so it's a really nice thing to just like Green Sun early to like pick off a Delver or a Dragon Rage Channeler. Just you can't pay the X with Green Sun Zenith, but it's always a 2/2, nice to get. Just kills like random creatures. It's just good in Ancient Tomb decks. Like again, the green and the red is awkward, but we saw it in Andy Fernandez's Naya Stompy deck. And why I think we haven't seen that Naya Stompy deck at all on Magic Online is purely because Morlock isn't on there. Being able to be flexible and just like use all your mana, just cast like put 5 mana into it. You got a 5/5 that kills an opposing initiative creature.
That's not too bad. Yeah, I also saw. I've also seen like Morlock in mono green Cloud Post deck lists, basically to combat Magus of the Moon.
Did you see that against someone called Callum Smith by any chance?
I might. I mean, you have the basic force, and then the mountains are gonna be for free. You know, you get the mountains for free. So all you gotta do is just like tap a couple of those like non-basic mountains, and just let the Morlock fight. One of the Magus. I think it's like an it's a really cute idea, and it probably also works. Mono Green Cloudpost is already a deck that also plays Green Sun Zenith. Yeah. So
I think it's incredible in that deck. So for anyone that doesn't know, round 2 at the ELM, I played against I've forgotten his name now, but he's a Fake Futurism online. He plays a lot of Cloudpost there. And game 1, he goes Cavern named Tyrannid. I'm like, yeah, I know what's going on. I know. Cool. And I was like, that is so smart. And then game 3, I have like a turn 2 Magus, but nothing else, but like 2 Great Furnaces, and he just force vigors my 2 Great Furnaces. I don't draw any more lands.
Oh, dude, I keep wanting to cut Great Furnaces from the deck, but I think we're already down to 2 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They were the only 2 in my deck. But anyway, then I know that like the Magus has to get there, but I know he has Morlock in the deck, and then he keeps like tanking for 10 seconds or 5 seconds on his turn, and I'm like, so you can't hear it on the stream, but I'm like, you have them all locked, don't you? And he just smiles, and I'm like, so we're playing the game out, but I know I'm dead for like 5 turns. And he eventually casts it for 5, so you can draw the card as well, just to rub it in. But no, I think this card fits in tons of decks as well. I don't have them all now, but like Naya Stumpy, I think will be a thing online when it comes. Obviously, Cloudburst was saying, I think basically any Green Suns and Earth deck will play one of them. Maybe I think Elves has Grist, so maybe not. But I think anything else, like Naya, especially, we'll definitely see it in Naya Depths, I think as well. It's just another unassuming card that does a ton, like a little bit extra than you expect for its mana cost. So
it's so weird. Like I didn't even think about that. This still isn't on Magic Online, but you're right.
No.
I mean, I haven't seen it at all.
Yeah,
just like in my head, it doesn't exist.
No. And then we've mentioned it, but Chaos Defiler, I think, is like getting close to like a staple for Painter. I think 1 or 2, maybe 3 is going to be like in almost every single.
It's so crazy to me that like 3 is even an option.
Yeah, I think 2 is going to be it, because I think you don't always engineer for it. You actually want to draw them quite often. So I think this will be
Wow.
I think this will be a 2 of in Painter when it hits, and for a long time basically. So yeah, we're still living in this weird world where there's a bunch of cards not online.
Is that actually going to be the future, or do you think that Daybreak Games is actually going to get better about like implementing stuff as soon as possible?
I think Daybreak's going to get better. Everything they've done this year has been awesome. Like, I cannot speak highly enough of Daybreak Games, how they're turning stuff around. Even at the moment, they are discussing like releasing all lists again. They've been really transparent with all the, like, you can just message them on Twitter, or they have forums now where you can submit bugs, and they respond to you, and they're very honest about it. They're like, nope, that's not going to get fixed for a while, but at least you get an answer. You feel like you can talk to people, and they have, I mean, just so recently, the Seasoned Engineer and White Plume Adventurer, they were 80 to 100 something ticks each, which is ridiculous. And so within 2 weeks they said, okay, we're dropping their drop rate in chests to the lowest. They're still quite expensive, but they've gone down tons. So that was, for me, 2 weeks is a very fast turnaround for feedback received and then processed, and we see the end result of it.
I was actually going to mention that in our review of the year, but I'm actually going to bring it up now. I always have a lot of thoughts about, because like in the greater esports scene, which I guess we, especially in Legacy, are not part of, but the same principles still apply, is you have this discussion about what is a better tournament setting, or I don't know, like how would you call it? What is a better tournament structure or competitive structure? Is it going to be a closed system where the company that owns the game is responsible for 100% of the competitive scene? Or should it be an open system where like third-party organizers can put something together and offer tournaments and then compete against each other? And in a similar way-ish, I feel like Daybreak Games taking over Magic Online now has opened us up to like the advantages of a third-party organizer. Like, I don't know what the exact contract between Wizards and Daybreak Games is, but it feels like Daybreak Games is less scared of like revealing more information, which in a closed system would always be the case, because the company selling the game is also the company like putting together the competitive scene. So they have like an inherent interest in like the competitive scene. Maybe, not showing all the information. Like there's an inherent disconnect between like, oh, I want to like be very transparent, and I want to like pretend that my game is amazing. I mean, everybody agrees that Magic is amazing, Legacy is amazing and stuff, but I feel Daybreak Games is in a position where they have to less care about to like make the design team look good or like make the company look good. So they could just be in a position of like, you know what, just take all the at least Vintage and Legacy deck lists. We don't care. Like, if you want that, if that makes you play more games, that's all good. Like, let's do that. We don't care if that makes it seem that, oh yeah, this is very much a design mistake and now it's out there in the open for everyone to see. So yeah. I'm pretty happy about that.
Totally agree. And I didn't really think of it in those terms, but I agree. To back up that claim, honestly, so today on Twitter I saw Emma Handy say that this is going to be her last Holiday Cube update, and then she's handing it over to Daybreak Games completely. So yeah, that backs up what you're saying. I
wonder actually like where they get their stuff from, right? Especially for stuff like Holiday Cubes, etc. Like you need people who know what they're doing. You have to understand what you're doing.
When they did the transition, I read all the personal profiles on their website just out of interest, and a lot of them have a very rich Magic past. So it's not it's not like this esports gaming company. A lot of them have ties in Magic and have worked there in the past, I think. So yeah, I think you're right though. We're going to find this middle ground, hopefully, of just more information out there, faster responses to problems, and I'm just so optimistic about it.
Yeah, when you think about how many hours each week, just like Joe Dyer's crew sinks into collecting all the data, it's like, I don't know, there's at least 2 legacy events, and then you have a couple of people doing that for like an hour or two, I don't know, and then you have to compile everything and present it. I don't know, that's dozens of hours each week, and if you just like automate that would be so amazing. Yeah,
I saw Joe and you posted on the forums today asking them to release at least all the information for challenges, and they'd already responded within like pretty fast, saying. But the thing is, he had posted it a couple of weeks ago, and then they responded, and then we both responded back immediately. Okay, cool. And they were open to actually doing that. And you mentioned that they would also sometimes say, "Oh, we're not going to do that," when they definitely don't have plans. So that gives more value to them actually saying, "Oh, we're looking into it." Yeah, because I remember. An example is Newton was messaging them on Twitter quite a lot saying, is opposition agent, which was slightly bugged, getting it fixed. And he'd message them every few weeks, and they would just say, it's not in the planned update, it's not in the next update. And then finally, it was like, yeah, it's in the next update. So there we go. There you go. Cool. So fingers crossed they give just all the data for the... I mean, all the 5.0s would be awesome. Like, let's be real. But at least all the challenge lists would be great. Isn't that actually a thing? But I thought like only in Vintage where they release all the 5.0s, or was that a bug? We think it's a bug. The legacy ones are like not consistent. Yeah, the legacy ones are weird, right? We talked about that, right? And then you look deeper into it. I think it was like the thing where if you queue up and then you load a different deck and you 5.0, it shows both or something. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how they. It didn't make sense for the legacy one. Yeah, sure. So Vintage, it could be a bug. Or maybe it just carries on. That'd be really cool. But who knows? Okay. I guess that brings us into November. Kai, what is your favorite card that has been released in November?
November got us the Brothers War.
I
think this set got a lot of like flavor to a lot of like popularity in Legacy, right? Because of the awesome looking old border artifact cards like. My babies are Legacy so beautiful. Staple Phyrexian Revoker. My babies are so beautiful. All these old border artifacts are so gorgeous, nice. Man. Vicious Bauble.
Vicious Bauble is insane.
It looks crazy. I'm also a big fan of the Wurmcoil. The Wurmcoil engine is also crazy. The Wurmcoil
is so nice.
I wish that card was like a little more popular in Legacy.
Yeah. Dude, if you ask Marius Hausmann, he wants to play it in Painter.
You can play it in Painter. Like
the thing is, like, it's ever since the KSD file has been printed. Do you really want Wurmcoil?
No, but you didn't want it before. So the only good reason to play it, in my opinion, is it looks so nice.
Yeah, but it looks so nice. By the way, Callum, I don't know why, I recently came across a post of yours, was it on the Discord or on Twitter, where you literally posted a leaked copy of Mishra's Bauble, and you even like put a caption there. I know it's not real, but I desperately want it to be real.
I know, I remember it. I remember posting that. I was like, it's too nice to be real. It's too beautiful. Which I'm talking about, like the sketch or the special
retro frame artifacts.
Retro frame, but the extra like the.
Yeah, when they changed style. Up the artwork, blueprint like.
Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't. It says version 2. That's the official designation.
Version 2. Retro frame version 2. There we go. Really rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. It's just too many versions.
But my favorite one from the set though is the Soulglow Lantern. It's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's great, right? Ah man. But you know what I'm so surprised about? Those are so incredibly cheap. Like the Mishra's Bauble version 2, one of the nicest ones on MKM, you get them for €2. But that's already on the high end. Like I bought the Thorn of Amethysts. Like these ones were like less than €1, I believe. And I think you have the other ones, the version 2 ones, and those are also like not all that expensive.
I spent too much for those ones because I bought them straight away because I knew I wanted them for 4 seasons.
Okay.
But no, they're a lot less because I thought that these were all going to be in like special packs, but they're just all in normal packs. You can open them as in every single Brothers War pack. You can get these in.
The thing is, I don't even play Mishra's Bauble, but I might literally just pick up a playset of those version 2 ones.
Oh, you should. I've picked up a playset of both versions just because they're so cheap.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they both look awesome, and surely they'll never be cheaper than this, especially for nice versions. So I've basically ordered 4 of every nice looking artifact in the whole set.
You literally make me want to do the same even tonight.
I've got so many of them. And I'm about to order all like playsets of all the artifact lands with like old border as well.
Oh yeah. I got the Ancient Den ones. Oh no, Ancient Den's the white one, the Great Furnace
Great
ones.
Furnace, yeah.
And I still have to get used to them.
Get the tap lands as well. They're pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're also cheap. Well, I'm about to play 2 of the black red one in Painter.
Oh, aren't those the ones that are artifacts and indestructible?
Yeah.
Those are really going to be. The thing is, like, you actually have to update us at some point because I'm still building my Magic Online version of
Okay.
Painter, which feels great. But you told me you're looking into Badlands, you're looking into that tap land. That's an artifact.
I mean, the kind of sad, but also kind of fun, interesting thing is like Defiler not being online. Like, I can't test it. I'm just playing it at locals or in tournaments when they come up. I've played Defiler in only 4 seasons, 3 and 6 rounds at my locals.
And that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
And then I guess a bunch in like hotel lobbies and stuff.
Yeah, hotel lobbies as well, actually. I was going to play 3 more last night, but I was so in the mood for pre-mod, and I just played pre-mod. But,
yeah, dude, the pre-modern buck is real.
Yeah, but no, so, I mean, the Fable Painter Discord part is very active, and people saying they're like playing it at their locals, they're playing it online, that people are getting them now because we're saying it's good, but we're still working out the mana base, basically. And currently, what I want to try is 2 Badlands and 2 of the Black Red Bridges with a Nihil Spellbomb, but no fetches.
And then fetchlands as well, I guess?
No fetches.
Oh, just like straight up 2 Badlands?
So what I've found out, I played 4 fetches at 4 seasons. 1 or 2 life over the course of a game is actually really real. That's an Ancient Tomb tapping, and you're very often tapping your Ancient Tomb a lot of the time, and you're racing Delvers or whatever's. Like, 1 life can win or lose you a game in a deck with 4 Ancient Tombs. So I think the fetch lands, it's not the stifle, or it's not like opposition agent that's bad about them. It's just losing a life is actually really bad.
And like going for fast lands isn't really a thing, right? Because we play so many lands.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
if you can't activate your saga and stuff, it's just like that.
Which I added a 22nd land for Defiler to play them a bit more. Fast lands are kind of interesting with Saga because you often play it like as the 3rd land and the Saga just sacrifices, but still.
Okay,
no.
yeah, that would work, I guess.
But so we're between like, obviously you can play up to 4 Badlands, but I'm between adding enough black sources to be able to play Nihil Spellbomb, which is a really, really good upgrade over Soulguide Lantern. It is almost worth the splash when you're already trying to get black sources in there for Defiler. But I think the deck can support 2 Defilers without playing any black lands, because you can play like 3 or 4 pedals, you've got a Mox Opal, you've got treasures from Fable, you've got Saga can get a pedal or a Mox Opal, you can like weld the pedals back in and stuff, so you just have a lot of black sources, but they're not all permanent, so they don't support Nihil Spellbomb. They just support playing a 5-drop once, and then you're done. So, I don't know, that's what we're working out. But currently, I think 2 Badlands, 2 of the Black-Red Indestructible land is what I'm going to test next, but I don't know. Maybe it's 0 Badlands, maybe it's 4 Badlands, maybe it's fetches and 1 Badlands.
No, it's kind of exciting. It reminds me of the early days of the Source when I started playing Legacy, where you would discuss stuff like that, right? And
yeah.
nobody played on Magic Online because Magic Online didn't really have proper Legacy for a long, long time. And
And the decks used to be like $3,500.
Yeah, especially if you wanted to play like the super expensive stuff like Punisher's Steed and Orm's Chant. Those were the most expensive cards at over 100.
I remember having access to a friend's account who had most of the stuff, just almost everything. And then I was like testing like Dark Bant, Stoneblade, whatever, which I played at Eternal Week in 2017. And being able to use his account was absolutely invaluable. But I looked up the cost sometimes, and it was like $3,800 for an online deck, which is so stupid. Yeah.
But yeah, so we have all of these amazing artifacts. That's almost like a preemptive Christmas present we got from Wizards, so that's amazing. And then not only beautiful stuff, but also like super powerful cards, or at least one very powerful card in Phyrexian Dragon Engine. That also started right into Painter, right? And I've been playing... I don't have access to Defiler. I've never played with Defilers ever. I didn't even borrow your deck to try it out.
No.
But playing with Phyrexian Dragon Engine, it just feels so fucking right.
It's insane. This card is so fucking good. Oh my god. It was like, when I thought it was going to be good in Painter, but I just didn't get around to trying it like straight away for a while. And then I got 1 league before 4 seasons, and I was like, okay, I'm going to play a bunch of leagues this week just to test it, to see if I want it for ELM and or the Sunday main event. Second match, I was like, yeah, I'm sold. This is 100% a staple in Painter till something better comes along. And
it's not very confident.
No, I'm so confident, and I want to play 2 in Painter. I'm almost about to play 61 cards because I can't find the second.
Holy fucking shit! By the way, that artwork.
It's so cool as well.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Julian's just maximized it on our notes, but
Yeah. Like it's a 2/2, so you don't really think it's really big, but fuck it. Like you increase the size of this. This is like a rolling dragon on like a tank.
it's almost
fighting.
like a Phyrexian dragon engine.
It literally
But
looks
yeah.
like. a
But it's got
Phyrexian
it's got tracks, right? It's huge. Yeah, it's so cool. I'm absolutely in love with this card. So I want two because welding them in and out is obviously pretty real.
dragon. One for the other.
Yeah. So I've been playing Painterless Painter a bit online, and I'm just waiting for the rest of the Phyrexian Dragon engines to arrive in paper. But it's basically like using 4 Dragon engines and then 3 or 4 Unearths, and then 8 Goblins.
Oh, you can do
Welders,
that as well. Yeah.
and you'll play
yeah.
Defilers, and then Unearth really helps playing Painter and Engineer and Welder as well. You can get them all back, and then obviously Unearthing a Dragon engine just draws 3 cards as well. So I don't think it's as good as Painter, but I've been playing it with Scrapwork Mart as well, which is another new card from the set, which is like a 2-mana 2/1. When it ETBs, you can discard a card and draw a card, and then you can unearth it for 1 and a red as well. So yeah, it's just like Goblin Welder Funhouse.
I want this in old frame as well.
Yeah, me too. And in this deck, I'm playing 4 Galvanic Blast, bringing that card back because it kills Seasoned Engineer. Yeah, you got it. And endurance and stuff.
Help me out. What is the instant that deals 5 damage, but you have to sacrifice an artifact?
I've been playing Shrapnel Blast as well.
Shrapnel Blast.
Shrapnel
Yeah.
Blast, yeah.
I've got 2 Shrapnel Blasts in this deck.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Oh, dude, sacrificing Dragon Engine to then weld it in instant speed.
It's like nothing ever happened, but your opponent lost 5 life.
Oh, I've got a lot of Shrapnel Blast forced. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude,
So,
that's amazing. Yeah, that was just like the Christmas month.
Oh, this card, I wasn't expecting something like to come new for Paint. Painter's got so many new toys in the last couple of years.
I guess Painter's also one of those decks that has a lot of potential to get like really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's you're not really tied to all that many things. Like there's decks like Elves, so you have like to consider a lot of synergies and you like a certain density. And in Painter, not really all that much. I guess you want some kind of density of artifacts, but that's pretty much it.
I mean, you don't even have to play red or the goblins. Like Painter and Grindstone, you can build a lot of ways around them. I do think the power of this deck comes from from playing red. Blasts are great at the moment, but yeah, you can do a lot of things.
Cool. So yeah, one of the most exciting months. And then it almost felt like we ended the year in absolute style. We ended the year in December with literally the biggest legacy events we have seen ever since the beginning of the pandemic. And then even it's probably like the biggest legacy events ever since GP Bologna, even when we count Bologna, like GPs, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We spent the last 2 episodes just talking about big legacy events. And I don't know, like for me, this has been almost like the rebirth, the renaissance of Legacy in a way. Like, if somebody had told you like a couple of years ago, oh yeah, Legacy is going to have like an almost 500 paper player event, and there's going to be like 2 more of almost the same size on like the very next weekend.
I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
It's like Legacy 2.0.
Yeah. I don't know. It's. I think that people are realizing over the last year that grassroots. I mean, you've been speaking about that a lot. We have on the podcast, but grassroots is a real part of the future of Legacy, and maybe the biggest part of the future of Legacy. And 4 Seasons started as that, and we have the events in Freising, we have etc. We have LLMs in London, and I'm sure there's many more over the world popping up. And I think
isn't Kaya also doing like some events in Berlin?
Oh yeah, like
High
I
Five.
mean, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like just like slowly trying to.
High Five Berlin.
Yeah, dude.
You know what we should have in Europe, in Munich, in Germany? We should have like city wars. Like we sent the Munich Legacy team to fight the Berlin Legacy team. Kai, you probably don't remember this, or maybe
I'd
you
be
do.
down.
Do you remember the Magic Bundesliga?
I don't think that. No, I don't
It was
think so.
slightly before my time, at least as a competitive player. And that literally was a thing. I don't know if we only did in Bavaria, but we literally had a thing where different towns would send their representatives in 3 formats to another town and then play them basically in a team format, like we basically team trios like we did in 4 Seasons. And then people kept track of that for a year, and that was literally like a league. And it was called the Magic Bundesliga. I never played in it, but I was aware of it. Imagine how flavorful that would be.
I mean, it sounds pretty cool. But before we do that, I would probably vote for like a European or like a German God of Legacy, whatever.
Dude, it's so fucking about time that we bring back the German Legacy Championship.
Yeah, dude.
I was about to
The
say
last one happened 2010-11.
I think Europe would love like MKM tour back or something like that. Doesn't have to be MKM obviously, but some kind of tour around Europe where like, you know, the European players will travel for it. Like, you know, people want to play Legacy. It's been proven this year now. So I feel like it is a lot of work, and I think it's a bit of a thankless job, like running Legacy events in different countries. But I don't know, it could be highly profitable if someone's listening.
Yeah, that's something like I didn't really talk too much about it to the people involved, but my biggest concern is when people put something on like 4 seasons that actually is worth it to them, and that doesn't need to be that they get rich. But my biggest fear almost is that some people that are necessary for a project like that burn out, and then the project dies with them.
Yeah. True.
So I've been the kind of guy like when I talk to them and they talk to sponsors, and I'm like, what are they giving? What are you getting? And I'm always the guy up in their ass being like, dude, you asked for way too little. You should ask for more. You should ask for more.
like doing LLMs for 6 years, bit over 6 years now. A couple of times I've felt really burnt out, and I don't make anything off it. They're all non-profit, but you do sometimes burn out. Like, oh, God, can't someone else do it for a little bit? But it's worth it in the end, and I'm very happy I do them. But you can definitely sometimes get, you know, feel like, you know, there's no end because you're always just doing it for free. So there's no end goal. There's nothing to hit. You're just running them. But no, I think, I don't know, you probably just do need someone to be making a profit on these events to be pushed into that role to, you know, make them bigger and stuff.
And even like if it's not a personal profit, like, but at least you shouldn't like come out like negative or like paying something out of your pocket. But if you get to create a budget to put on something maybe even bigger, like, you know, like a big end of year event or like to build up towards something, so you feel like, oh, these events that we're running, and then, you know, I have this extra budget that I can put on something amazing. And even that is something to you know, keep it steady at least. And that's
True.
the one thing I'm scared of that could happen. But I don't see it happening right now to any of those events. I'm also not like I don't know too much about any of these grassroots events going on, except for like etc. But yeah, that's my thought about that. But overall, I guess we're already like part of like in talking about our review 2022, and I guess I'm gonna go into mine first, just because I'm first in the show notes. For me personally, outside of Magic, it was just a year of working way too much, and I think I've talked about that on a podcast before. It's just tourism has picked up like crazy. We never replaced my colleague, so this year and a half even has been the most work intensive thing I've ever done, and I'm pretty pissed about it. But more, not necessarily like at like the company I work for, because in the end it's like up to me. I guess I got a pretty reasonably big Christmas bonus, bigger than ever before. But yeah, anyway, I'm just like saying I can't go on the way this year has worked, so I'm either gonna try to work less or get better pay or do something completely different. But I feel like I'm very much at a crossroads in my life, and to phrase it in a positive way, I don't feel like I'm at a crossroads where I have to decide between like two bad roads. It's more like, hey, I have options, and that's cool, and that's where I am right now. With regards to life.
Damn. Like that. Yeah, changes are good. Changes are good. Never
Very
be
good,
afraid
right?
of changes. Yeah.
And with regards to Magic, we already talked about Daybreak games, and that I also really like what we're seeing with them. We revitalized our local and regional scene, and yeah, it's literally been the biggest it has been in 10 years. The last time I saw like the Bavarian legacy scene, or even like the Southern German legacy scene being this big, has literally been in 2009, 2010, when we were playing like GP trials for GP Madrid and stuff. And then maybe even 2011, and ever since it's been on a decline. And now that we've done proxies here, holy shit. Like, we just had I believe 42, 43 player event, and it was one of the smaller ones.
Yeah. That is absolutely crazy. It's so good to see, big events. Or even like, just like seeing that the proxy thing is just really like paying off, you know, even in like larger events.
Yeah, and you
really
barely notice it. Like, it's not like people bring like Sharpies on like a piece of paper and just like, oh, this is my Tarmogoyf. Like, okay, whatever, dude. It's like,
it's funny. Like, it's the Tarmogoyfs don't even play the legacy. It's kind of funny.
Are you sure this is this? I would trust you if you told me this was a Murktide. Could as well be a Murktide.
Goyf's like a £2 card now. What the hell?
Yeah, you know, you could actually. Who said that? Somebody said that you could tell the story of Legacy almost just through the eyes of Tarmogoyf. I mean, you missed the first couple of years, but after that, you can tell the story of Legacy through the eyes of
I don't know
Tarmogoyf.
if you guys have seen it, but anyone listening, you have to see this. there's a video about Tarmogoyf on Ristic Studies on YouTube.
Oh, that's really good.
It's so
yeah.
good.
Gotta watch
It
it.
made me like almost well up. Like there's so much nostalgia and memories, and I think it's what's the name of it? It's just like
His
anyway,
name?
just the name of the video. Just search Ristic Studies Tarmogoyf,
Tarmogoyf. Yeah.
and it's so good. Yeah.
Amazing. And yeah, for me, what I'm looking forward to for next year is just like more paper events, both regional and the big ones. I think all three of us, we want to go to the next 4 seasons in March. So I'm super fucking hyped for that. Horny for more.
I've already booked my travel there. Yeah.
Amazing. And then when it comes to my favorite cards, we had that segment, right, where we talk about our favorite cards of the year. The thing is, I want to say it's Fable of the Mirror Breaker, but it feels like the card belongs to Callum because Callum loves the card even more than I do. And has
No,
been
you can
playing.
have it. You can have it. It's not my chosen one.
Okay, so for competitive Magic, it's definitely Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I just absolutely love what the card does. It's very powerful, but not in a blunt way, but more in a very like elegant way, and it's also spread out over a couple of turns. And yeah, it's very unassuming, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And from a casual perspective, even though I guess I rarely get to play casual Magic, but from a casual perspective, I absolutely love, and I'm actually going to copy that over into the document so you guys can see that as well. Callum probably already knows it. Kaya might actually also know it. It's this guy. Can you see it? Marneus Calgar. It's from the 40k commander deck. He's one of the possible commanders. He's a 2 colorless, white, blue, black, 3/5 double strike. And when 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And you can pay 6 mana and create 2/2/2 white Astartes warrior creature tokens with vigilance. That card just speaks to me on a flavor level more than anything I've seen in a decade almost. I don't know why, but that whole Warhammer 40k thing and Callum talking about it and me watching lore videos about it really drew me into it.
This guy's a massive loser, by the way, in the lore.
No!
Uh-oh.
Fuck you. He's not. He's a lovable loser,
I mean,
right?
he's probably fine, but he's an ultramarine, which is like the bog standard beginner get into army of Warhammer. Sorry, I've just ruined your favorite card.
Yeah, okay. So basically, Julian, you're a
You're a
basic
basic
bitch.
bitch.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Yes.
it's just, I mean, there must be some redeeming factor about that guy.
No.
That's really nothing.
But
No.
he looks so cool. Fuck it, man.
No, I will say a lot of people. I mean, it's the most Ultramarines are part of Space Marines. They are like probably the most popular because they're like what everyone. They're the most iconic. They're the blue armor. The most iconic.
Actually, the
Space
blue
Marines.
armor is really selling it.
Yeah, he's got blue armor.
Oh yeah,
he's not the worst. There's he's like second in command to Guillaume, Roboterman or something. Let me look at him.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, that literally that card made me explore the lore even more, and I'm not even like at 0.1% or anything about it, but
Yeah.
I think it's just like super flavorful. He looks like a space marine, but the lore behind it is super amazing.
God, you could have chosen like Noise Marine or like.
Is there a
Lord-
card for Noise Marine? I don't know.
Yeah, there is. It's also really cool design. It's like 5 mana, 2/2 or whatever, 3/3. It has Cascade, and when it ETBs, it does damage to a target equal to the number of spells you cast this turn. So it does damage equal to like Storm, but like you Cascade as well. So you cast the Cascades first, then it ETBs and does like 2 damage because you've cast the Noise Marine and the thing you've cascaded into. So Noise Marines are meant to be like multiple things in your face and noisy, and it's chaos. So you cascade into random things, and it's kind of cool.
But do they have blue armor?
No, they have pink armor.
Okay, well, maybe. But I actually picked a third card as well.
Okay, go on.
The third card is actually, it's kind of cheap. No, actually, it's the opposite of cheap.
It's Alpha Black Lotus.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite card of the year is Alpha Black Lotus. No, it's that Ponder they did for Eternal Weekend.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I might actually just proxy some, like get nice proxies printed and use them sometimes.
Is that like ordering your own trophy and putting it on in your living room or something?
No, it's. I mean, if you play with a playset, it's so obviously not real. And
Oh, okay. Now, the thing is, like, I love the artwork. The artwork is amazing. But what I love even more is that they did this, right? This super incredibly flavorful thing. There's going to be, like, how many of those? Like 24 in the world?
Mhm.
it's one of the most flavorful things you can do as a company. Just like this is like Super Bowl rings,
and
basically.
it's free for them. It's so good. It's
Absolutely free, right? I guess they have to commission the artwork.
It's printing money for the players, and it's just an amazing idea. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're actually right. This is printing insane money for the players.
Yeah.
And it hurts nobody.
It's great. It's so good.
I guess it hurts the people who are selling foil Japanese Ponder, whatever. I don't care.
Well, look, Ponder sucks in Legacy. You heard it here first.
Oh, yeah. It's like a death sentence. Like
But
next
no,
card that gets printed. Yeah.
Jokes aside, I really hope they continue for every Eternal Weekend.
The thing is,
forever.
this is
It's
so
good.
cool. Not even for the monetary value. This actually makes me want to top it on Eternal Weekend again. I mean,
Yeah.
you always want to top it in Eternal Weekend,
But way
No.
more. It's monetary value is a really big incentive, but it's also like an extra big prize just for top 18.
it's literally a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I love it. Yeah.
This is amazing. And with that, I'm gonna hand the year over to you guys. Let me hear which laughable loser is your favorite card of the year.
Well, it's not a loser for sure. My year's been pretty a lot less exciting. It's work has just kind of carried on. We're about to go into an insane new year, so I'm just buckling up for that. Like too many things going on. But for now, yeah, I moved house in London. I said it a couple of times. I've loved running LLM this year. It's been one of my favorite things because we've had more new players come this year than ever before. Not more or less players. We've hit cap quite a few times, but just I've seen new faces at LLMs more than ever. So that's really cool. So anyone listening that's like, started coming to LLM this year, big thumbs up. It's really cool. Then other than that, yeah, I've got the fire back as well for paper events, similar to you. 4 Seasons, just like, I don't know, I didn't realize how much I missed bigger legacy events, and it is specifically legacy events as well, because I've been to bigger things like for Modern or whatever here in the UK, but it was like an international legacy event. That's the way to put it. Like Axia Now was amazing as well. I had a great time, but it's something about the whole process of going somewhere else and traveling properly and staying in a hotel or whatever, or not being in the hotel because you're out having nice drinks and beer and stuff. I just cannot wait for more. So I basically booked my ticket for March's 4 Seasons a week after, within the week I got back. I was just, I'm so excited.
Honestly, if I was running 4 Seasons, I would have like a testimony page, and I would literally put that kind of quote on there. Callum, host of Friday Day Eternal. I literally booked my ticket for the next 4 Seasons a week after
Yeah.
the first
It's
concluded.
just good marketing. Yeah.
I should have done it sooner. That's all I can say. It's anyone listening, please come to 4 Seasons. It's one of those, and the feel of it. I think we gushed about it so much in our last episode as well. But like, just the feel of it is all the people running it and organizers and players there are all there for the right reasons. Like they just want to play this game and be with friends there at the same time. So that's what I'm most excited for next year. 4 Seasons again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise,
So, what's your favorite card?
So
of
it was
this
between
year?
it was between two. So I'm gonna choose. I think Phyrexian Dragon Engine is my favorite card. It's been
Damn.
we've had-
even more than the Chaos Defiler.
that's the other card, obviously. So
Yeah, dude.
I really struggle to choose between them. Chaos Defiler is like, maybe it's my favorite. I don't know, but Dragon Engine I love the play patterns of more. So Chaos Defiler is like a cooler edition. It's a cool, big, splashy, awesome card, and I love it to bits. Phyrexian Dragon Engine, like this card is making me try and build new decks around it, rather than like, it's amazing in Painter, and I think I'm going to play 2 in Painter, and it's a complete staple in the deck now. But I'm, as I said, like, I'm trying to build Unearth and more goblins and just playing 4 of it, and I don't know. I just want to build decks around it. I need to buy some Mishras to try and meld it and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I did build Painterless. Like as soon as the set hit Magic Online, I paid like 80 tickets to just get some Dragon Engines and Mishras just to play a couple of leagues. And I almost melded twice, but my opponents conceded.
Oh,
It was so sad. But we also had a couple of other questions, like high-rated questions, and one was biggest game punt. I don't remember.
I
honestly.
forgot my biggest game punch.
So
I'm
we'll
gonna
come
get
back
to
to
that in a
yours. I
moment.
know that you had
Yeah.
Mine I just put long year too many. I'm not sure. I probably messed up a lot. Nothing super memorable. But wishes, I would love to see some unbans next year for Legacy. I
Ooh.
think Legacy has become such a proxy-friendly / online format that I would love to see stuff like even Survival of the Fittest and Earthbind unbanned. I don't know if we're at a point where they're even thinking about it. Maybe not, and it's just like really wishful thinking. But it's Christmas. Listen to me, Wizard of the Coast.
Yeah.
Please unban like I don't know, a third of the Legacy ban list,
Yeah.
but including Survival, Frantic Search, Mind
And
Twist.
Zeta. Oh,
I don't mind about Zoda, and I will gladly give you Dragon Rage Chandler as a prisoner in return for all these cards.
Oh yeah.
Cool. How about Julian? Do you want to say your punt, and then we can go over to Kai fully?
My biggest punt, I actually had to think about it for quite a while at the office today when Kai posted the questions. And I was like,
I think
I'm
I
sure
know
I
it.
had a lot of punts, but none of them were hilarious. But then I remembered my biggest punt of the year, and I was alone at the office at that point. I literally laughed out loud in the office. And yeah, so my biggest punt, and I guess as soon as I start talking about it, at least one of you might remember. if
I
not
know it
both.
already. I know it already. I'm gonna
Okay.
type it in the chat and see if it's right. Well,
Okay.
is it right?
Oh no.
No? Okay.
I don't even.
Nah, dude.
Oh,
seriously,
oh
for
god,
real?
yeah. Oh,
Right, Julia's got 2. Okay.
okay. You actually have to tell that one because I don't remember that one.
Okay.
So my biggest punt of the year was I started playing Painter, and please. Well,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
this is
started
good.
playing Painter, and I was like, Callum, give me your Painter list. And Callum gave me his list, but I think it was not a Magic Online decklist file. It was just like a list, and I think it had like 3 cities or a city of traders.
Yeah,
And
I could have just put city.
yeah, you just put city, I believe.
So maybe
And-
dear listener can see where this is going with just city as your
Yeah.
land.
So I go to Magic Online. Actually, no, I started out a card hoarder. I put the deck together. I pick all the artworks I like. I put 3 cities in there. I download the file. I put it in Magic Online. I get the cards. I literally play the deck for a week. I played like, I don't know, 8, 10 leagues with it. And at some point, I'm like, oh yeah, this is really good. I could really see myself playing this. I'm really enjoying this. At some point, I'm sending a screenshot to Callum about a tricky situation. Not only did Callum immediately figure out how I could win on the very same turn when I was like trying to like just optimize for like the next 4
tricky
turns.
situation was you hadn't realized that Fable just copies engineer and kills them. So you were like, I can't work it out. I'm like 3 mana short of this or that. I'm like, you can kill them with like 10 mana spare.
And by the way, Julian, why are you playing City of Brass?
And it is mono red deck.
You
Holy
had a City of Brass in the graveyard. I'm
I
like,
had 3
oh,
City of Brass
I can't believe it. It's
for
so
a
bad.
week for 10 leagues. Just like in my head, City is like City of Brass, and that's what he put in the deck. And I
I
literally,
just thought you were playing like the 5-color deck with like Emery and stuff
No.
as well.
no,
it's
I
just-
literally played fucking City of Brass in the
God.
deck because I was stupid, and I didn't even question myself whenever I tapped that stupid City of Brass. And,
I
like,
think, luckily, I'm pretty sure I only played 1 or 2 cities, but yeah, it's still ridiculous. Yeah. So the other punt doesn't top that. That's definitely number 1.
what was the other part? I don't even remember that.
It's not as flashy as funny, but at 4 seasons you were playing modern, and you definitely bolted an opponent's Dragon Rage Chandler when they were at 3.
Oh,
I'm
why?
sure.
You just like you saw that from the other table, and then because I don't remember that at all.
No,
but it
you
might have
told me
happened.
after. You told me after. I think you.
Oh,
Won.
the yeah,
I think
it
you
might
won the
actually-
game anyway, but you won the game, and your opponent was like, "Why did you bolt my creature?"
Dude.
I was just at 3, and you're like, "Oh shit, yeah."
Dude, yeah, Magic has always been about like showing dominance.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say, right?
It's all right, dude. It's all right,
So,
dude.
so it
End of
wasn't
Turn
really a punt.
Wasteland.
Yeah.
Sure.
We gotcha. Oh man.
Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Sea of Brass takes it though. That's great.
Holy shit.
It was so stupid. Dude.
And the
I
third
love it.
punt was saying an Ultramarine is the coolest card of the year.
It just happened a few seconds ago.
You know what's the beautiful part about picking up any new hobby? It's being a super enthusiastic newbie.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
where you like you know nothing, but you know that you're like super excited about this, and you love something that other people think is stupid, but you're like, I don't know, I love it. I don't even know the guy. I've never played with that guy. I only played against that guy, but I just love the artwork.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me. Callum, what was your? I don't know. You didn't have a lot of proper punts, right? I guess we're moving on to Kai.
I'm sure I did tons. I don't remember them. I'm sure. Lovely dear listeners, especially if you know me in real life, you can tell me the stupid things.
Dude, that's not. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there are no punts if you don't remember
Look,
them.
The
I'll-
biggest punt was telling me to attack at 4 seasons when I was at 3 live, and you
Well,
thought I
you
was a
didn't.
10.
Yeah. Fine. Sure. All right. I don't. This was like years
Oh, my
ago, but
goodness.
it came up in conversation at local game store last night. I was talking with a friend. He was playing Bomberman, and I was playing like some Mentor deck, and I have Serenity, and he had played a Mycosynth Lattice, and I dealt with the Khan afterwards, and so then he has like nothing. There's a lattice and then like a couple of lands, and he has like 4 or 5 cards in hand, but he obviously has no action. And then I have like Mentor, some tokens. He's gonna probably die next turn, and I'm like, oh whatever, I'll just play Serenity to like get some Mentor triggers. It's not gonna destroy anything. Maybe it kills a Mox Opal. I can't remember. And then I'm like, yeah, attack in, blah blah. And then he goes to his turn. He's like, okay, pass it back to you quickly. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, Serenity trigger. I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's like, everything's an artifact. Oh shit.
Obliterate.
So Serenity blew up like my mentor, all my things, and then he won very easily. It was like unlosable game if I'd never cast Serenity, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Well played.
Anyway, over to you,
Well
Kai.
played, gamer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had some big changes too this year.
You might have actually had the biggest changes of all of us, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I moved to Berlin from Tokyo to Berlin this April and opened my new stream and art studio in Berlin. It's been fantastic. I gotta say, like, I haven't streamed a lot in this December.
It's because he said he hates you all.
Yeah, dude, everyone hates me.
No.
I've been just like super busy in December. It's just like finishing a lot of like alteration requests, which I've gotten throughout the year. It's the same thing like every single year, right? Like December is just you have like close to zero time. I'm happy that I could that I made it to the Four Seasons event, but man, a lot of stuff going on. Again, thank you so much for all the alteration requests, everyone. I really appreciate it. Also, like some other things that I started my first token series, which I distributed at the Four Seasons event.
Ooh, yeah.
And which I will also take to Japan next week.
I have them right in front of me, actually. I've been clicking them.
And I hear there's a chance that some of our Patreons are also gonna get some of those.
Uh-oh.
I haven't mentioned it yet, but I have not been very good at sending out anything this year, so I'm putting up like a bigger drop for like probably it's not gonna arrive this year, but early next year. So
Maybe
if you
No, just go on.
so yeah, I'm saying so if you don't have your postal address on Patreon yet, just add it. It's gonna be for everyone. I think we have 67 Patreons right now. And yeah, just add your postal address and you'll get some swag next month.
And yeah, maybe super late Santa might put something in your sock, right?
Yeah, it's Santa on suspend.
Other than that, I also started to play Commander for the first time in my life, which I guess like after like a 5-6 year break. So excited about Commander that I already built 3 decks: a mono green Azusa deck, a mono black Kirk, Son of Yawgmoth, or should I say Post Malone?
Oh, that's Post Malone, yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's already pre-ordered. You know, it's gonna arrive in I think like 2 months or so. Super pumped. And then an Izzet deck. It's Locust God, just all the Wheel of Fortune effects and all the counters. a lot. Yeah, it's like
it feels like everybody starts out building an Azusa deck. It's just like it must be one of the most popular commanders.
Is she the basic bitch of Commander?
Dude, that Commander deck literally is the Commander version of Tony Murata's mono green Cloud Post deck. Like I swear to God, like a lot of the cards are just very similar. There's Elfish Reclaimer. There's no Cloud Post in the deck, but there's like a ton of ramp and then into Eldrazi. So like same thing, you know.
Sweet.
As for punts, I have the biggest real life punt is that I forgot to book my flight for the the Four Seasons Bologna in
well played.
In
Sorry,
autumn.
Julian. Kai wins this one.
Yeah, Kai actually takes the cake.
that was a real life punt, and the biggest game punt was against Mythic Invitational champion Andrea Mengucci, where I got deck checked and just freaking registered for Water Graves instead of Underground Seas.
I'm actually gonna challenge that. I think you had a bigger punt, but you didn't get punished for it.
Oh shit!
Remember on stream when you built your pile without a win condition? Oh, without mana to cast your win condition?
That was so... oh, man. That was unreal, dude. Yeah, I made this... I made the worst pile ever with Doomsday. Basically, there was Thassa's Oracle, but I forgot to put in extra mana to cast it. So I made a losing pile, but opponent scooped anyway.
Yeah, so. Because the issue was you had a fetch land, but you didn't put a land to fetch into your pile.
Yeah, dude.
And then, like, in chat, we were like, Kai, just, like, play it off. Like, just keep doing it. And you cracked your fetch land, and your opponent scooped in response.
There's just no justice at all.
Dude, there's no justice, dude. There's absolutely no justice. My favorite card for 2022 it's not even close. It's She-Old with the Apocalypse.
Yeah, nice.
Super cool artwork, super cool text, not overpowered. Just everything's set in place.
It's
very
close to
good.
perfect. Even the flavor text is amazing.
Yeah, dude. It's short, compact, awesome. And if I had a wish for 2023,
Old
I would
frame
like-
Shieldred.
I would like to see.
Yeah, there we go.
She ordered 2.0. Yeah.
This wish
I
is
would like to
hilarious.
I've been looking for a street rave where I don't have to pay 2 life, but literally any other downside. I don't care.
Lose
If this
3
could-
life.
Edge of
Nah,
Autumn?
dude. opponent gains 20 life. Opponent gains 200 life. I don't care.
What if his opponent draws a card?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought as well.
Oh, dude, that's you can do that.
The thing is, like, depending on how you've built your pile, it might actually not matter what your opponent draws.
Like endurance.
So what
Yeah.
if would you play this card? 1 blue sorcery, draw a card, and cycling, your opponent draws a card.
Oh, that's blue. I like that a lot because then you can pitch it.
Yeah, that'd be good for the deck. probably.
Well, maybe a big maybe, Oh, I can also do something else.
Look,
I
look,
can.
Kai,
I don't know,
we're not giving you a card that cycles for free.
there can also be like a real life downside. Every time I cycle it,
Real-life
I don't know. I shit my pants, for example. I don't know. I just. I
then
don't
you put
care.
then you make one of your Gugu Gigi Gaga piles and you shit over the entire table, man.
Yeah, like 4 times in a row.
Cycling, you do the washing up for a week.
It's actually super interesting, like a real life downside. Like you don't get to go first in the next game or something. But actually, you wouldn't go first anyway if you win with that pile, so that's not even a downside.
I don't know. Like next game, you have to play like single sleeved or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not so sure we're gonna see that, but Kai, you might try and apply it Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
I'm just being optimistic. Wizards, if you're listening to this, please print a better
Right,
street rave.
Kai,
Thank you.
one last question for you then. 4/4 Flying Visions. What color is that?
4/4 flying vigilance.
Yeah.
White.
Okay.
What?
You're not a game designer.
On what?
Sorry.
No?
It's a bit of a meme now. There was they did that thing where, like, finding a game designer for Wizards of the Coast and the winner gets to be on the design team.
Oh yeah.
That was black green.
Dude,
Yeah, everyone answered
What
white.
on
Don't worry.
earth?
I guess
holy
black
shit.
gets flying, but is Vigilance? Yeah, Vigilance is kind of green, but I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. So well, you both suck. Me too. I obviously wouldn't have guessed it as well. So sorry, Kai. You're shit myself for cycling, and white flying vigilance do not quite make it.
Not yet.
Not yet. True. Okay.
Dude, we have seen stickers in 2022. Like anything is possible.
That's a
Right.
really good rebuttal. Fuck. I would never.
He has had freaking stickers. Dude.
Oh, by the way, guys, before we close it out, I totally forgot I had an AI write the rules of Legacy, and I literally saved that because I wanted to quote those rules of Legacy to you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No, definitely not.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm not going to quote all of them. I'm just going to go from the top for a couple of those. I asked the AI to write 10 fictional, sarcastic rules about Magic Gathering Legacy format. Rule number 1. Players are required to spend at least as much money on their decks as they do on their rent, because nothing says, I like this game seriously, like being homeless.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's way more money than their rent.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Rule number
you mean
2.
rent for like a couple of cards? Yeah.
Rule number 2, players are not allowed to have any fun because this is a serious game for serious people. Smiling is strictly forbidden.
I love that one. I love that because every legacy deck is miserable. Oh my god, they killed me turn 1. Oh my god, they stopped me casting my spells. Yeah.
Rule number 3, players are required to memorize the entire card pool, including all the obscure and forgotten cards that no one has played with in decades.
Bringer of
if you
Chaos.
can do it in your sleep. Defender of Chaos, man.
Fuck.
That's the one.
So I can't play legacy. There we go.
Yeah, see,
Defender of Chaos.
I've even been homeless. Like, I kind of like
No,
I obey the rules of Legacy.
Yeah, you do. You are the legacy god.
Rule number 4, players are not allowed to make any mistakes because that would be admitting that you're not perfect. Just pretend you know what you're doing and hope no one notices. That's true for so many players, dude,
Yeah,
seriously.
Majority, yeah.
I mean, I didn't even say I made any punt, so yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to stop at the fifth rule. There's a couple more. Rule number 5, players are required to take at least 1 hour to make every single decision because slow and indecisive play is the mark of a true master.
This is the opposite of you.
That's true.
Yeah. 5-minute
Dude, I loved
wonders.
it. It's just love how these AIs work. They don't like copy pasting stuff. They're literally just like gathering insight into whatever topic you ask them about, and then they come up with their own like.
All of
dungeons,
these
that stuff.
could be pretty true for legacy.
I mean, I've had it write like small primers about decks. Like when I instructed it to like not write sarcastic or anything, you literally could take that stuff, maybe really only edit a couple of small things and sell it to our website. It wouldn't be very deep, but it would literally, like if you were too bored to write an intro about a deck, you could literally have one of those AIs write an incredibly good intro to a deck. And that's kind of, it's not scary, it's fascinating.
Fascinating.
So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that.
I've seen. Yeah, we've got so many primers from you. You've been really working hard recently. We got Sneak and Show primer. There was a bit of a painter primer. There was a primer on HJ playing Vintage.
But you don't even know. Like I gave it like the most obscure instructions. I think one of my most obscure instructions was like that Anorak gets abducted by space aliens, and they interview him about like legacy meta games and stuff. Like I wrote the most obscure prompts for those AIs, and yeah, I could spend so much time with that. Anyway, that's just like a small minor thing. But are we closing out the year here? Is this?
I think so. At the beginning, Kai said, "So guys, are we going to do another one of those like 3-hour podcasts?" And we're getting there.
Here you are.
But for this one, I kind of knew that was going to be longer, right?
Yeah. We've got to go off in style.
Sounds good. It's already. Oh my god! In Germany, it's already past midnight.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, let's close it off with a big thank you, right?
Yeah, big thank you to anyone. Seriously, anyone, whether you're like playing in local events. Thank you to even the people who are not listening. Like carry on the thank you. It's amazing. Legacy has never been as big, as fascinating as it has been in this year in a long, long time. And
I mean, Sneak and Show players get a little bit less of a thank you.
yeah, but they are struggling. Like even JPA is playing Nimble Mongoose these days. Like what does that tell you?
True.
Man, I never ever want to like close these end of year episodes, but it's been a blast, and especially like closing out the year with 4 seasons and rediscovering like big paper legacy events. That was just like the best.
You know, as much as I make fun of you, Kai joined us in April, May.
Oh shit! That was
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think we even talked about like months
Thank
before whether we should ask Kai whether he wants to join, and then like we dragged on, we didn't, and then hey, we should really get this Kai on board because otherwise another podcast is gonna get him.
I totally forgot that this was 2022.
Yeah, man.
Holy moly!
It's kind of crazy. Like we wrote this review of the year and we didn't even mention that.
I knew I was saving it for later.
Oh
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, arigato, dudes. It's been
Real.
pleasure.
It's been
Dankeschön.
real. I'm doing a bro fist through the mic.
Yeah, we're currently like still paying the transfer sum to Japan for like releasing Kai out of his contract to get him to Europe. So if you want to contribute to that, you can join us on patreon.com/everydayeternal, or you can leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, because apparently now you can actually leave reviews on Spotify. So if you want to do that, thank you so much. If you want to find us on social media, you can find us on @EternalMTG on Instagram and Twitter, as long as Twitter is still going to be a thing. We have no idea how that's going to work. And with that, we're going to close it out. Big shout outs to everybody who's supporting us, all our 67 Patreons, everybody hanging out on Discord, having a fun time, posting their food, making fun of stuff, sending listener questions, and yeah, especially to our Eternal Witness tier supporters, Salvatore Orico, Tommy Hinks, Testacula, Sebastian Holaga, Guillaume, Hanawa F, Sean Dewey, Francis Cooper, Cassandra Davis, Benedict Gruber, and Severin Schwarzhuber, and Grizzlebrand tier supporters, Victor Benhardt, Baju Butt, Scott Monroe, Jeremy Gates, Henrik Korkutz, Tom Happ, Andrew Whitman, Kane, Ian Seifert, Fritz Sternert, and Paragon Games in St. Louis. Dude, this list just keeps growing longer and longer. It's amazing. So guys, we're going to close it out here, and we see you again next year when we find out whether Chaos Defiler has already taken over Magic Online.
Let's do it. Let's defile.
Let's do it. Let's go.
See you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.